Yeah.
March will be a perfect time. Yeah,
Ukraine in March. It
Jacob will
is.
come. Jacob will come down. You know, what I'm saying to you, we'll get a hug.
Yeah. He's fucking great. He called me last night. He's like, how is Shalev? And I go, he's great. Why? He goes, is he coming? I'm like, no, I don't think he is. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Tea. We're just, you catch us with our pants down all the time. That is Lev Parnas, formerly of the Trump regime. Former friend of Michael Cohen. And we got lots to get to today about both of those people because desperation makes for strange bedfellows. Lev, fresh off of returning from New York and owning Scott Jennings' soul. We also smoked Michael Cohen out this week, and Michael Cohen, predictably, and this is the Michael Cohen special. Everybody, we got lots to talk about. This is predictably went back to the Trump trough yesterday, saying that he was coerced by Alvin Bragg and Letitia James to say all that stuff about him. Not in the 7 congressional hearings and the 2 criminal cases where Michael Cohen was like, he did it all. Now he's saying it's responsibility of the state, New York State to be precise, and they coerced him. And now he's on Team Trump. Trump's now tweeting about Michael Cohen, our friend Michael Cohen. Is also currently ripping off Coffee and Tea with Lev and Dean, doing Coffee with Cohen with approximately 100 people watching. So
Paid subscribers. I tried to get in there, but I'm not gonna pay to even go in there.
you're not going
No,
to give him $8 a month just so you can look at him,
no,
lie?
no.
No.
I want to see the how many are in his actual cult following, because I truly can't believe that anybody would like that. I saw, like, very few, maybe two three, and but even two three people to be able to say Michael, a great letter, like he, commenting on his letters, like his writing skills. And like, I'm like, are people like just sick? Like, I mean, like, did you just read what the guy did and what's going on? And look, yeah, guys, look. First of all, keep hitting those hearts. Let's get some more people in here, because this is not only. I know we're gonna have some fun with it, because it's just you can't, because of the fuckery. Excuse me, and because of. But this is a very, very serious. What's up, Nick? Nick, if you want to come up, we'll bring you up also later. So today we're gonna have a lot of people coming up, folks. Today might be even we might run later than 2 hours. So let me just tell you what the program is. But today is a very, very important day. This is not a day where we're just going to talk about Michael Cohen from a standpoint that he's a bad dude. This is very serious what Michael Cohen is doing, what's being
Mm-hmm.
planned out. I spent the whole night, if those of you that seen, I was literally on a call with my sources while we were doing a live with Wajahid Ali, talking about what is in play. What happened last night was the things that is now put into motion and it put into play that we're going to talk about. So this is a very important live. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
even though, yes, it's coffee and tea, and we're going to try make sure we get as much as we can in of other
Yeah, we're still
things,
going to
but
answer questions, so pump them into the chat,
yeah,
everybody. Yeah.
absolutely. For all you paid subscribers, we're still gonna answer questions. We gonna try. I can't promise today to bring many up, but because we also have today very important, we have two heroes that we are going to bring up later on. Is Alexander and Philip Eitner. Philip and Alexander are both in Ukraine, and they're both, I just want to say, before we even get started, before we get into all the nasty dirtiness and all of that, on behalf of Philip and Alexander and the people of Ukraine. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for and Malcolm. I wish Malcolm was here, but we did a couple of lives, and in the past couple of days, we were able to secure another, I think, 10 or 11 generators in
Oh,
the
that's
and
awesome, dude.
Alexander, and we, I think, have another 8 left. I think there's another $25,000 left to finish off the GoFundMe, so we could get the rest of the 8, and that would be 40 generators, folks. And then we could go out and try to find some more, because right now there is none. And the plan is basically that Philip and Alexander, once we get, they're gonna go, the two of them, and then Cheech is one of our paid subscribers here.
Cheech made
He's
it?
gonna join. Cheech is going down there in February,
Oh,
but
it's awesome.
they're gonna do it, and they're gonna go out there and deliver the generators. Around right now in Kiev, because in Kiev it's just so bad, folks. I can't even tell you.
Mm.
People are literally, this is the 21st century, are dying, freezing in a European country. This is not some third world country. They are literally dying from starvation, from the winter, and it's really bad. So uh, we're definitely going to get into that later on. That's going to be in the second hour, but the first hour, we're also going to have Wajahid Ali is going to come join us and talk about what he's hearing and what's going on with Michael Cohen. Cheech, I'm going to bring you up in the second hour, my brother. I got your message. It's been a crazy couple of days. Also, yeah, Brian Krasenstein is going to come try to join us. Also, he has some stuff he wants to add. I mean, Shalev is going to join us shortly. Ellie Leonard is going to come up soon. Tara Palmieri might be joining. I mean, so just so understand, this is, and you know what? I hope Michael Cohen comes joins us,
Yeah.
because this is an open invitation, and if there's anybody here, I don't know, that still is a paid subscriber to Michael Cohen. I don't know if you are, because I think everybody's already canceled. One of the things we're going to talk
I'm
about
seeing
is
a
making sure.
litany of people in the chat going, I just canceled my subscription to Michael Cohen's Substack. Now, listen, real quick. It got a Michael Cohen special for everybody here.
Oh, go, go ahead, Dean.
Yeah.
Dean got one for you. I love it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. If you cancel your subscription to Cohen Substack and you join Lev Remembers or Dean Blundell, that's Substack.com, Lev Remembers at Substack.com, I will give you 50% off an annual subscription for the rest of your beautiful, beautiful, resistance loving life. All you have to do is DM me, subscribe and DM me, and I will credit you that subscription, and I will put that Michael Cohen special and make it live as soon as we're finished today. So,
Wow, that's
yeah.
a serious one. That now that's democracy, folks.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
person.
yeah.
That's a person putting his money where his mouth is. I love that, because people talk. I love that, man. That if you have it, I would be running out there right now. That's better than Black Friday or any of that. Michael Cohen special, but folks, yeah,
Well,
I mean,
plus, you know what we do is that we what you, me, Zev, everybody we work with, the Harbaughs, the Malcolms, the everybody's of the world that
yep,
we're
yep,
continuing to work
mhm.
with, is that what you'll get when you subscribe to us is fact-based information. And none of us are fucking Trojan horses. None of us are fucking double agents. We are all in it for the same reasons, and it has nothing to do with us. I'm going to fucking Greenland and Denmark with Malcolm Nance, Ken Harbaugh, Jacob Carsbo,
That's
because
good.
it has nothing to do with me. I live in a really nice house in a really nice country. I don't have to get on a flight to fight for democracy. Lev doesn't have to go to New York to fight for democracy. Lev doesn't have to drop his friends to fight for democracy, and neither do I, but we will. We will and we do, and that's what this is all about. And I think it's really important that we jump off and start talking about what we're here to
Yep,
do, which is talk
yep,
about Michael Cohen's heel turn late last
yep.
night. Um, Let me read this Fox News article, and then we'll go forward, because just a little backstory. So a couple of weeks ago, Michael Cohen literally threatened Zev Shalev, who we work with, said he hopes he chokes to death. Da, 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 da. And Lev stood up for Zev,
Mm,
stood up
mm,
for democracy. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, before you go, because we see with Zev and Ellie are here. Zev, I don't know, Ellie. Whoever has more time, tell me who wants to come. I know everybody. I know Ellie's out there with the kids and everybody's doing it, but this is important. So
Yeah.
let me know who wants to come up first, so I could send you the invitation. I just sent it. Let me send it to Ellie first. Maybe if you want to come up. If not, I'll send it to Zev. And so this way we'll start rotating people, because this is extremely important. So go ahead. I'll keep rotating, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
Just backstory. So, let me back up even further. Tara Palmieri literally cracked
Yeah.
Michael Cohen like a fucking
Hmm.
walnut last year, where she said, "Hey, listen, you tried to buy off Katie Johnson, the 13-year-old," and he was like, "No, I didn't. That was Jane Doe, somebody else. It wasn't." We all know that. And Michael Cohen has been effectively smoked out from that position. He is absolutely running interference on behalf of Donald Trump, on behalf of the Epstein files perpetrators, on behalf of the cabal of disgusting pedophiles and perverts. He is a pedophile protector as of today. No matter what he tried to present himself as Tara Palmieri started cracking that egg about a year ago, and then Zev Shalev, he gave it to Zev with you on a podcast not long ago. Said he hoped he choked. You came to Zev's defense, and you came to the defense, more importantly, of the victims, specifically Katie Johnson, a 13-year-old, who Michael Cohen is alleged to have, according to a bunch of different emails, threatened or paid off the family of Katie Johnson, who's 13-year-old. And he is holding back a significant amount of information that you know. And Lev is going to rip the cover off that today. Zev Shalev joins us, obviously, from Narrative. Hey,
Hi.
buddy. How you doing? Nice to see
Good.
you.
How are you?
Is
Good. I want to get to this heel turn, though. You're familiar with everything. So we smoke out Michael Cohen this week.
Yeah.
Well, Lev and Zev and Ellie Leonard smoked out Michael
no,
Cohen
oh,
this week.
it was all teamwork. It
Yeah.
was Tara
All of us. We
Palmieri.
did
It
it.
was
It's a big group.
you, Wajahid Ali, everybody. That's how I say. I want to say, and each and every one of you that I know was difficult because I know a lot of you have been with Michael Cohen even before me. A lot of you have been subscribing, being paid, and listening to his grift for a long time, and he really had everybody. And so I want to just say, for those of you that believed in Zev and me and Ellie and Dean and Waj, well, because we were sounding the alarms, and Tara, and for those of you that stood with us, and I want you today is, a little bit gratification, not because it's a good day, because it's a disgusting day, because we have to deal with another more garbage, more shit, but at least a little gratification that God's giving us the right sign, that we are doing the right thing, we are
Yeah.
together, that we're on the right track, we are making a difference. And that's why, on that stance, I want to give each and every one, we all did it. This was
Okay.
teamwork, and we'll
Yeah.
continue doing. So go ahead, Dean. Go
Yeah,
ahead, brother.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Standing up for Katie Johnson, standing up for the victims. Michael Cohen, the fixer for a long time. You know, it's like mice. If you pay or threaten one or two, Stormy Daniels, Katie Johnson, you've done it a bunch of times. Michael Cohen has maintained he knows nothing. That was smoked out by all of us, including Ellie Leonard's incredible reporting this last week that he knows. And so as of yesterday, we get a report, actually an article in Fox News. I'll read you the title and then the premise of the article. Michael Cohen now says New York prosecutors quote, pressured and coerced him into anti-Trump testimony. The article goes on to say Trump's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, said on Friday, that is yesterday, prosecutors in Manhattan District Attorney's Office, New York Attorney General's Office, pressured and coerced him into delivering testimony tailored to securing convictions against Trump. Fuck. Cohen, who was a key prosecutor witness in two New York cases against Trump, accused New York Attorney General Letitia James and Alvin Bragg of pursuing evidence aimed at Trump, saying prosecutors were uninterested in testimony that didn't fit their narrative. Quote, I felt pressured and coerced to only provide information and testimony that would satisfy the government's desire to build the case and secure judgment and convictions against President Trump, Cohen wrote on Substack yesterday. Fox News, yeah, on Substack of all places. Fox News Digital, cool for Twitter, not so much for Substack. Reached out to the office of the New York State Attorney General, Manhattan District Office for comment, although no comment. Cohen, who was Trump's personal lawyer, said he was writing as, quote, a federal appeals court considers the president's request to move his hush money case to federal court for further review. So there you go. The former Trump fixer, testified in a civil case brought by James in 2023 that Trump fraudulently inflated his assets to obtain favorable loan terms. He also took the stand in Bragg's 2024 case, where Trump was found guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records. Trump accused both James and Bragg of using their high-profile cases to elevate their careers, claiming they sought credit as officials took down Trump. Quote, they blurred the lines between justice and politics. Michael Cohen. And in that blur, the credibility of both suffered. Cohen said that both before and during the trials, prosecutors made it clear they're only interested in testimony from him that would convict Trump. Quote, when my testimony was insufficient for a point to the prosecution sought to make, prosecutors frequently asked inappropriate leading questions to elicit answers that supported their narrative. Cohen pled guilty in 2018 to several crimes, including tax evasion, campaign finance violation, and lying to fucking Congress. He described cooperating with authorities while incarcerated, saying he sought sentence relief and felt compelled to provide testimony fitting prosecutors' narratives with the hope that his sentence would be reduced. Quote, you may reasonably ask why I am speaking out now. The answer is simple. I have witnessed firsthand the damage done when prosecutors pick their first target, then seek evidence to fit a predetermined narrative, Cohen said, while noting he was not writing in defense of Trump. Where do we want to start, Lev? Zev?
Before we even before we start, let me just just give you guys even more of a preamp because of what we're going to talk about. As I always tell you guys, this none of this is coincidence. There's a reason Michael Cohen wrote that letter yesterday. And there's a reason Fox News wrote that article yesterday. You know what else happened? And really, it's I can't believe it hasn't been hit the mainstream yet, and it hasn't been bigger than yet. But it happened. Donald Trump responded to Michael Cohen. Donald Trump responded on Truth Social to the person that might remember he called him a rat. He called him the
Yeah, he
piece of
did.
shit. He called him every word in the a liar. Let me read you Donald Trump's response to Michael Cohen's letter, folks, so you understand where we're going with this. These are horrible, radical left people doing everything possible to destroy our country. They should pay a big price for this. It was a setup from the beginning. New York courts, with many fair and wonderful judges, are embarrassed by what has happened. We cannot let this pass. Michael Cohen says he was coerced by Letitia James and Alvin Bragg to turn on Trump. Donald Trump, folks. Donald
Well, if
Trump.
he says it, it must be true, you know?
Donald Trump, because,
I mean, it's so much lying from both of these guys that it's actually hard to know where to believe and where to begin because
It's actually fucking comical, too.
yeah, it is. It's actually gotten to the point where it's like none of this actually makes sense or is even feasible anymore. But there's a really interesting thing that he was not coerced to only give damning evidence because he didn't actually give all the evidence that the prosecutors wanted. There was a huge thing about that. Huge thing when he testified in Congress. He had so much more we wanted to hear from him, and he refused to incriminate himself or incriminate the president, except for these smaller things. So he knows a lot more, and he's always refused to cooperate. And by the way, prosecutors' agreements like this are designed for this. They're designed for you to give damning evidence about the person you're giving evidence against. Otherwise, what's the point of giving you a get out of jail card? You get a
Well, and
get
and
a
let's look to Ellie's incredible reporting with
yeah.
that last piece that she put out, where he was literally begging the Southern District of New York
and we're gonna talk about that
to take
because
more
that's yeah.
information from him while he was in jail when Epstein got arrested, so that he could get a fucking lighter sentence. He is
Well,
saying in that email that I'm willing to give you more. I'll
well,
fuck him up.
Yeah.
it's really bad, and and I want to, and I'm glad Zev is with us because I really want to give Zev a lot of credit and a lot because of he put me on and helped Ellie, incredible work, Tara Palmieri, everybody had their a little piece in the thing, even the fact that he went on, because for those of you that might not know, I've been on Michael Cohen's case already for a little bit. Even we since we started doing Unleashed, we've been going heads up on Unleashed, on especially every time something came up with the Epstein files. The last thing that transpired was when Tara Palmieri came on. He went after her, and I didn't like the way that happened. Later on, a few weeks later, a week later, we had our own lives. Zev asked me, all honest, all transparent. We were going to have a conversation, had nothing to do with the Epstein files. It was about Donald Trump doing a speech. And Zev said to me, listen, Michael's going to be on the panel. I have some questions for him. I didn't get a chance about the Epstein files. And my response to Zev was, listen, everything is fair game. This
Yep.
is live. We're here to get the truth. We absolutely go ahead, ask away. So we got on the panel. For those of you that might have heard this already, so I'll give you the quick synopsis of it, not to drag it out. But on that panel, obviously, he went off. Michael Cohen went off on Zev again. But what he went off on Zev, because see, I was concentrating. See, I know Michael Cohen very well, and I know a lot of the players involved. I was concentrating, and plus, don't forget, I have sources on the inside that are also leading me to certain things to look at. So the one of the things that Zev really mentioned that Tara started and Zev what's it called, basically told me, was Michael Cohen kept made up the story about a Jane Doe, about a case that there was a Jane Doe. And he kept talking about the story, but I know Michael, and I know, and Michael's also a lawyer. So Michael, when he talks about things, he's very informative, except for when he's talking about the story about Jane Doe. When he talks about the story about Jane Doe, it's very like here, there, bam, 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 bada bing, bada boom. It was a no big deal. I sent some investigators, and they found nothing, and it was gone.
Mm.
But the couple of things that Zev pointed out that really got me going was that if this was a filed case and you were investigating, there should be a case number. There should be a case filed. So there should be a case filed in the court for another Jane Doe that happens to be at the same time where Katie Johnson filed, that
Yeah.
happened to also cancel the same time Katie Johnson can. I mean, basically, you're giving us a story, but you're taking the name of Katie Johnson and basically putting Jane Doe and muddying the waters with certain information. So Michael Cohen went a step forward, started blowing up. We started looking into it forward. We started going more and more into what was going on and what was Michael going to do. That's when I had the big blowout right before New Year's, because Michael Cohen tried to use my son to whitewash himself. And I want to also make clear, very important for everybody that's watching. A lot of people are also talking about like the Midas guys, talking about Joe Walsh and Malcolm, and mentioning a lot of names. I want to be very clear.
Yeah. People that
Please,
that
please,
Cohen is still involved with to some extent.
that
Yeah.
call that calls
Yeah.
up. I want to make it clear. We are not here to divide this platform. We are not here to fight between ourselves. That is what Michael Cohen is implemented to do. I do not want anybody using this to attack the Midas guys or attack anybody that's been with Michael Cohen. Today, this is breaking story. Today, everybody has a free chance to be able to analyze, realize, digest it, and then react to it. Once each of these people that are like Jojo, like Malcolm, like whoever it is, once they have a chance to respond and see how they act after what they hear what's going on and see what's going on, then and only then will we be able to respond in any way. Till then, please, folks, do not attack the Midas guys. Do not attack anybody, because, in all honesty, Michael Cohen is a con artist. Michael Cohen conned a lot of people. He's a grifter. He's been stealing money and taking money from all of you, selling his books, lying to everybody, using the media, using Midas, using a lot of people on the inside. And he's infiltrated, just like because, like he says, he's learned from the best. And I want to read another quote from Michael Cohen before we go forward, for you guys to understand who Michael Cohen really is, because he's such a narcissist. After writing that letter yesterday, today he also wrote another letter. He wrote a letter like nothing ever happened, talking about a 19-year-old girl that Trump deported, an American citizen that they apologized about, and that apology is no good because he knows Donald Trump and very well, right? But he
Hmm.
put something in there because narcissists and people that usually commit crimes have what's it called, something that they always break. I'll quote him out there. He said, "Quote: Donald Trump once taught me that apologies are tools. They are not moral acts, they are strategic ones." Okay, so I just want you to understand. So he's telling you with his own words that he's learned from the best. Donald Trump told him, so all of these apologies and all of these Michael Cohen feel bad for me, and I've been persecuted ever. It's all out the window. So I want to make it clear. So today is the day. So prior to today, people have been fooled, but after today, anybody, and I want to make it clear. Today, we do not go attack. But after today, if anybody continues, and this is not a threat, this is a promise, like certain people say, and it's fair warning. Anybody that continues to subscribe to Michael Cohen, anybody that continues to stand up for Michael Cohen, anybody that continues to platform Michael Cohen, anybody that continues to go live with Michael Cohen, will be in my book, and I guess in our family's here book, and
Hmm.
equally responsible to being a pedophile cover up,
Yep.
just like Michael Cohen is.
Yep.
So that is fair game. So you
I
have
I agree with you to
everybody.
some extent. Can I
Yeah,
just say that I don't love
yeah.
cancel
Please go
culture,
ahead.
and I
I'm
don't
sorry,
like the
Zev.
idea
Go
of
ahead.
I don't like the mob like telling people don't speak to this person, don't speak to that person. That's the job of interviewers and reporters to speak to people sometimes you don't like, sometimes these people you don't agree with, some people did bad things, you have to ask them questions, others you don't get to speak to them. So I'm not a big fan of saying people shouldn't appear with other people, but I am a
No,
big
no,
fan
no,
of we
no.
should be able to ask any question and should be asking the right
Right.
questions.
That's what I'm talking about platforming himself. I
Yeah.
want to make it very clear. No, if he wants to appear with you, or if Joe Walsh wants to go on with him and put his feet to the fire, if the minus guys want to do, absolutely, all day long. I want to appear with him. I welcome him to come on. I want to put his feet to the
It's just
fire. I
co-signing
will
his
go. I
bullshit,
will.
right?
Yeah.
I will go exactly. I'm talking about exactly co-signing is bullshit. I want to make it very clear. So not this is not about journalists. I'm talking about people that will have him up and sit there and talk about, agree with him, that and especially when he talks about release the Epstein files. Every time he says release the Epstein files, we need the Epstein files released. I just want to spit at him, because that's insulting. Because wait till I tell you some of the information that I've been hearing. But go ahead, Zev. I just wanted to make
No,
it
no, no. I just
clear.
wanted to
Yeah.
say that I look overall. I think what you're saying about this being a coordinated strategy for Michael Cohen to get in or back in with the president is obvious. If you're seeing that Truth Social today post, and you're seeing what Fox News did, they're building a narrative around Michael Cohen being somehow wrongly maligned, by all of us and everybody else, and we somehow misrepresented him, and that he is in fact the
Yeah,
victim.
providing an innocence avenue for Trump in
Yeah,
the capacity.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the trade.
100,
Is hey, I'm gonna help you get off your umpteenth crime, whatever it was that you were charged with. In exchange, you're gonna bring me back into the fold, and you're gonna help clean me up as well a little bit in the MAGA world. So this is
Mm.
the trade. This is the narrative they're building. You can't look at all of this stuff and say, the guy lies way too much. The guy was a professional liar for Donald Trump for many, many years, and he hasn't stopped lying. I mean, I've been critical of Michael Cohen's from day one, like 10 years ago. It's very hard for me to imagine a guy like Donald Trump's fixer coming clean on everything. And if he says he came clean, he's lying, because there's too much there. There's so many stories and so many criminal activities and corruption that it's just impossible for him to have come clean in any way. I also
Let's
find it
get
funny that it's called mea culpa, and
yeah.
it says apologies are
Anything but
performative or something. So a
anything but
tool.
a mea culpa, which is a full on prostrate. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I am here for the right reasons. I am going to represent the people. I'm going to represent the truth. Study and contrast too. Difference with the distinction. Lev did time on behalf of Donald Trump. Michael Cohen did time on behalf of Donald Trump. Lev has stayed true to his word. He is the real fucking authentic deal. Donald Trump hasn't. And I think the question that a lot of people are asking right now in the chat, Lev, and I think it's time to turn it over to you. Did you get rugged by him? Did you know that he was sort of a Trojan horse? And it's time to let those cats out of that fucking bag. If Donald Trump is going to make his heel turn back to Trumpsville, if Michael Cohen is going to make a heel turn back to Trumpsville, if Michael Cohen is going to maintain that he only threatened and paid off a different minor, according to his
Oh,
his
yeah,
thoughts,
we're
et
gonna
cetera,
get
et
into
cetera.
that. Yeah,
Well, let's get
yeah,
into it.
yeah, yeah.
Let's
Let's
get
get
into
into
it
it.
because
So,
I think a
and
lot
because
of
yeah,
people want to know the Michael
I,
Cohen that you know and how all the pieces have come together and what you have to say that will put some type of charge into Michael Cohen's absolutely fucking predictable Trojan horse slash double agent heel turn going back to Trumpsville now.
oh, absolutely. And I think that's an incredibly fair and proper question, and I'm glad you're asking that, because we're going to go into it. But I want to make sure everybody slam those hearts, because we need more and more people, because this is real important news, because what's about to take place after what we're talking about here is things that have been set in motion. Certain things that have been set in motion to be able to now open investigations into Alvin Bragg and into Letitia James. certain things have been set into motion to be able to now get Michael Cohen into turning him into flipping him and start lying about the Democrats to be able to get a pardon. Certain things have been put into motion to be able to start painting the narrative so Donald Trump could now and just think of it, just like Michael Cohen said in the opening letter, I'm writing this now because there's a Supreme Court, there's a court decision and appeals here, and I want them to know that just in case, so they could read it, so they could rule on behalf of and throw it completely out. And just think about it. I mean, you can't make it up. Like he's literally saying you, that's why I'm writing it, because you guys are looking at it right now, and this would be the best time to do it. But there's a reason Michael Cohen did this. It wasn't that he didn't have a change of heart, Michael Cohen. So let me tell you, I know, for those of you that have been watching, I know Michael Cohen for probably 40 years.
Wow.
Never hung out with them, never been friends with them. We traveled in the same circles. I knew his uncle Morty, who was used to rent out the El Carib, which was a catering hall to all five families of the mafia, and also the Russian mafia, the Italian mafia, the Russian mafia. I know Michael Cohen, who he hung out with, Felix Sater, and guys like that. I grew up with them, knew them all. Me and Michael, but never crossed paths until literally when Trump came into office. Because when Trump came into office, I was already part of the Trump family, and Michael was riding the coattails, but he was on his way out because people, when Trump got won, people in Trump world were trying to get Michael out of the picture. That's where the first rift started between Michael Cohen, Donald Trump, and people inside. They were trying to keep Michael out of the White House.
My understanding
One thing.
is that the people around Trump, to your point, they said Michael Cohen's too much of a wild card and he's not smart enough to be part of this regime.
Not only smart enough, Michael Cohen is a pit bull. A lot of you forget that, but you see that come out of him when he goes on an attack. When he tells his own subscribers, he could be sitting here right now. We could be talking. Thousands of people could be saying, "Michael, we love you," and then one person could say, "Michael, you're an asshole," and he will blow up. He will
Yeah.
go attack that subscriber. He'll
You
tell him
lose the
to.
whole show.
He'll lose
Yeah.
the show. The whole. He'll
Yeah.
be arguing with this one person. I mean, that's Donald Trump. That's why I
By the
even
way,
started saying it.
sorry.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Zev. What did you
No,
say?
no, just going to say that he lied about being wanting to be in the White House. If you remember, that was one of his first lies
Yeah,
under
that's
oath. He
exactly.
said,
He
"I did
said
not want to
exactly.
go to the White House. I was
Exactly.
offered jobs," and the real evidence, which came
Lied.
out later, was I certainly hoped for a White House job, and he would
Correct.
one
Right.
hundred percent
Right.
accept
Right.
a job according to an SDNY memo. I mean, the
Yeah.
guy just lies, on cue in under oath.
I mean, he just lies exactly. So, my relation with Michael Cohen, we didn't have a relation. We didn't have a good relation. We had no relationship. I actually didn't like Michael Cohen. My son didn't like Michael Cohen. But then I'll be honest with you, Michael Cohen became a major left darling. The media took him in, the all these podcasters. He became this. He grew a platform. So when I came out of prison and I wanted to, I was trying to establish my voice. I was just trying to get out. So I was trying to make alliances with people that were standing up against Donald Trump. And like it or not, I kept running into Michael Cohen because everywhere Michael Cohen was everywhere. Michael Cohen was on this podcast. Michael Cohen were these guys. Michael Cohen, and then the Stormy Daniels trial came up. Michael Cohen again was in it. So it was constantly Michael Cohen, Michael Cohen. And I understood for me to be able to start building a base. And I'll be honest, I started hanging out kind of with Michael Cohen to start building a following. To start building, getting noticed, to be able to, and that's why we did our show Unleashed. That's what the whole idea of Unleashed was. After our first two, three shows on our Unleashed, me and Michael Cohen, those of you that watched Unleashed from the beginning, those of you who've been watching, know we went at it. We got into and then again happened. Why? Again, because of the Epstein files. Something was brought up about Katie Johnson. Michael Cohen started defending Donald Trump, saying Donald Trump, no, what's it called? Me and Michael Cohen went at it to the point where actually I went live saying that Michael Cohen is having a breakdown. And we had this whole what's it called? We had a peacemaking. Everybody on there said, "Guys, make up because you got to forward." Again, I made up because of the community, but that didn't mean I stopped looking into them. I kept looking in because something inside, you know what that twitches you? That's something about all of his informants, and I kept telling you guys, the one person besides all the survivors are important, but to me, Katie Johnson has something right here because
Mm.
this little girl was abused to the point, and she had the guts and the ball and the strength to stand up to the most. She filed a real complaint, a criminal complaint, and these mobsters, these pieces of shit, went in and intimidated her and made sure that right before the election that they shut her up. So to me, that was a very important thing that I've been trying to work on. I really wanted like a personal thing to really find out who that person was, and I knew in my heart that it was Michael Cohen because it couldn't have been nobody else because there was nobody else in the Trump world at that time because you guys have looked into Trump. We see all the players. You see all of the characters over the years. Tell me which other character in Trump
None. That
world
was his gig.
that was his gig. That was him. There was nobody else that was supposed to go in, and he
Yeah.
admits it. He
Hmm.
admits it. The only thing he kept saying instead of Katie Johnson, it was this other story.
Which is
So
just as
this
bad. Just doesn't come with a fucking
just
name
as
and any
bad,
backstory,
right?
for fuck's sakes.
Well, that's the crazy part because that's where Tara got because Tara was telling him, "Listen, Michael, I mean, you're saying that you sent a private investigator after to look into a underage girl. That's also bad. Even if that wasn't Katie Johnson, if that was another girl, that's also like you. That's intimidation.
Yeah.
So and that's why Michael blew up on her and everything like that.
Can
Hmm.
I
And
just
then he
add?
made
There's
a
one thing really interesting there that's worthy of
yeah, yeah.
the
Please go
person that
ahead.
Michael Cohen says was dealing with Jeffrey with Katie Johnson was Jeffrey Epstein's attorney on Katie Johnson. So what he's doing in his deflection there is he's saying, "Oh, I didn't take care of that. Epstein's lawyer took care of that." But of course, Epstein's lawyer was representing
Well, I thought
Epstein,
he didn't know
and
anything about any of that either.
Cohen. Well, no, he keeps mentioning
Exactly.
a name, but Cohen, it's Garden, I think, or Weingarten, something like that.
Something
Alan
like that.
Garden, maybe.
Al
Um,
Garden, yes, Alan something, yeah.
something like that. But he was the president's lawyer. He was Trump's lawyer, so obviously he was involved on that side. This was a case against both of them. They both had lawyers.
100%. Thank you, Zev. And I'm glad you're here to point out these facts. So, and now we fast forwarded. So we're going back and forth. We got in this whole thing, Midas. I went live. I had my, heart out, this whole thing. We're not talking. And then Michael Cohen decides to do a Substack with Joe Walsh. And it was interesting. I went on that Substack. I don't know if you guys remember. We were actually doing, I think, a live with you, Zev, and Dean. We were all doing
We were
the
live, and
five
you guys
stack.
were live, yeah, and then we
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
joined together, yeah.
we were doing the five stack. We were talking about it, and then he went live, and a lot of the subscribers jumped in and said, Michael Cohen is going to make a statement. And I said, you know what? The hell with it. I'm going to go and confront him right there. Let's do it. So I went into that
Yeah, that was on Monday, dude. Yeah.
this was on Monday. I went
Yeah.
into that chat while Joe Walsh and him were talking, and Michael Cohen kept trying to say, and I kept talking about Katie Johnson. I kept talking about the things that Zev said. What's the case number? I basically was reiterating the stuff that Ellie found, where he was talking about Rule 35. People were asking him, and Mike and what's his name? Joe Walsh started going at it with him a little bit. Said, "Look, listen, Michael, what's Rule 35?" And this is where he really fucked up, and I caught him, Zev. Because if you go back and look at the interview, where he thought Cohen thought he gave the excuse, but he actually gave the answer, and that's why when I made me make some phone calls, and this is what we're going to talk about. So Cohen response to Walsh was that the information, because Walsh said, because I kept saying, what was the information that's pertinent enough that you thought you're going to get out of jail? I keep texting. He wouldn't bring me up. So Walsh asked him the question. He says, Walsh, he goes, Michael, why did you think, what were you going to tell the DOJ that would have got you that Rule 35 out? And he turns around and he says, I was going to tell them about the Jane Doe.
Ooh.
And he moves on.
Yeah.
And they pretend, and because Joe Walsh has no idea what Michael Cohen just said and
Yeah.
has no idea about the
No
thing,
follow
he
up.
thought no foul. He thought that okay, and all of the people right away start typing. You see, it was a Jane Doe, it was somebody else because nobody has a clue because this is Michael Cohen's way. But to me, I said to myself, wait a second. So for Cohen to tell me it couldn't have been a Jane Doe, because you guys, I want to just tell you, I was also arrested. I also was in prison. I also dealt with prosecutors. I went through the same exact system Michael Cohen did.
Same
Not only
people.
that, but it was the same prosecutors, the same
Hmm.
people. The
Yep.
first thing, my ASU, I was just having lunch with my lawyer and he was laughing. He goes, the first thing that was told to me when they sat down with me is, don't be a Michael Cohen. I swear to God, this is the first thing. Attorney, ASU attorney Roos, the same one. You can Google him. He's the first thing he said to me and my attorney. He goes, "Do not be a Michael Cohen."
Don't lie.
So don't lie. Exactly. If you want to, what's it called? And I looked at like, what are you talking about? So the one thing that he started talking about the Jane Doe. So I started thinking to myself, and I started making some phone calls and speaking to some people, and the story started clicking. So this is what really transpired. We don't I don't have the smoking gun, folks, with the picture yet, but this is circumstantially evidence, and on some good sources, some good investigative work that Zev has done, and Ellie and others that are coming together. And the only way we could get to the bottom, because Michael Cohen needs to answer the questions, because this is where we're at right now. So this is what I'm going to give you is happening. The past several months, when I first joined Substack, that's when me and Michael Cohen really started associating. Because prior to Substack, me and Michael Cohen really didn't even speak. But the reason why he started associating with me is because my son Aaron was very big on Substack. So he was trying to get through me to Aaron to be able to do lives, to be able to build his. He couldn't understand why he can't get bigger subscription, why he only has 50,000 or 60,000. This was our original how me and Michael Cohen even started talking about and going into even on Substack. The one thing that Michael Cohen kept also always, I kept always talking to him about is also these Russian oligarchs and all that offline and everything. And Michael Cohen was always also shady with all of that. Like I kept like trying to understand that the only thing that Michael Cohen would only talk, he had a spiel. I testified in seven things. I testify on the Trump. Trump went to prison. I'm the only one. I paid the price, and it's the same spiel. I started doing some more research, and like Zev said, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more things that he's been involved with that it doesn't that Michael Cohen is not talking about. So, make a long story short, okay, when Michael Cohen, and this is so from a really good source. First of all, when we get more Epstein dump, there should be more. Are going to see more DOJ internal conversations, because I'm told that Michael Cohen, after what Ellie found, what her subscriber found, was the first type conversation. But then there was another conversation where Michael Cohen gave them a piece of a proffer. It's just enough to get them excited to be able to get. So there was more conversation. There is definitely. The other thing is Michael Cohen never in a million years thought this was going to come out, because this, folks, it never comes out. This is sealed under seals, under seals. And third of all, Michael Cohen probably even forgot that he was even spoke about that and was trying to do that. That could be somewhere in an internal memo. That's why Michael Cohen kept screaming, "Let's see the Epstein files." When we saw that and we realized that Michael Cohen, I went even deeper to search in what's going on. So when me and Michael going back now, when me and Michael Cohen were on Substack, Michael Cohen started talking to me and asking me ideas of who I could introduce him in Trump world, because he had this game plan that him and what's his name, Jesse Jr., the one that served time, Jesse
That's right.
Jackson Jr. I think,
Hmm.
is that correct? Is it from Chicago? He served time.
I'm
So
not
him
sure who
and
you're talking to about there. But
huh?
who was the guy's name again? Do you remember, or you just
He was
Jesse?
Jesse
Oh,
Jackson, or not? Who? What's it?
Civil rights legend Jesse
Civil rights.
Jackson.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
his son. Remember, his son went to
Okay, yeah, yeah,
prison.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. That's
So
right.
his son,
Right.
right, so
Yes, right.
exactly,
Yeah.
his son went to prison for some violation. So Michael got to him. So they wrote an opinion letter about how Joe Biden was auto pen, and that he should have given them a pardon, and that this whole thing. A lot of people didn't even realize that Michael Cohen did that. Michael Cohen kept talking about that. He goes, if I could find something that Trump really I could help him with, I could get Trump to get me the pardon. The
Yeah.
problem is, he goes, I can't get to Trump because there was no way. That's why when Michael Cohen would talk about that he has sources or so, I would tell you, Dean, I would laugh at him. I'd say, I don't know what sources he can, because I'm his only source. He can't even get to anybody in Trump world. He's literally grifting off of people.
Oh, dude, and it's amazing how much he grifted and drifted off of you and your information. You would put something out, and within a matter of hours, he would put something out that was very similar to yours. Your talking points would appear in stuff that he was doing the next day. It's been truly fucking remarkable. Like if you know you and you understand what's at play here, you can literally see him passing you off as multiple sources in a lot of his content all the time.
And the other thing, some people saying he kept saying that we were bros. For those of you that have been watching Michael Cohen for a long time, just like Donald Trump, have you ever seen anybody, the Michael Cohen not respond to anybody? Have you ever seen Michael Cohen or Donald Trump respond to nobody? But for some reason, to me, Michael Cohen till now he says we're friends.
Yeah.
Michael Cohen till this, he goes on his life, says me and Lev, we're gonna go. I don't want him to bring up. Just like Donald Trump says he doesn't know me. Because trust me, folks, I'm not just coming here. This is not some Stella novella soap opera. We're trying to save our democracy, and we found a traitor inside our group, and we need to do
Yeah.
something about it.
Lev, can I ask you a
So,
question
yeah,
about
yeah,
what you just said? Just to
yeah,
underline what you said. You said that
yeah,
there's a more conversation between
yeah,
Michael Cohen's lawyers and the
yeah,
U.S. attorneys at
yes,
SDNY about
yes.
Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump.
Yes, I'm hearing that there is more, that there was, after that email, that there was another email where Michael gave through his attorney some sort of proffer about, and it had to do with Jane, but it wasn't Jane Doe. So now let me tell you what Michael Cohen and is planning, and the whole plan him and Trump and concocted, because as you see, Trump already responded, and it's already in works.
Yeah.
Michael Cohen and Donald Trump both know that they had an inner circle, and that was Katie Johnson. Neither one of them wanted to talk about that, and knew that neither one could bring it up against each other, because it would criminally involve both of them.
Yeah.
Michael Cohen found that loophole, because while he was in prison already, he was able to try to use that as a negotiating skill, because he would to actually get out, because he would give a bigger fish, and not because and not be looked at as the guy that actually, because he was going to tell them, plus Donald Trump did this and told me to go threaten her, pay her off, do this and this and this. That was what would be big enough to get him out of and get him a Rule 35, because that would literally have Donald Trump nailed dead to right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We gotta wait to see more of the dump to see the interaction. It was it more of a cover up from the Southern District, where they didn't want Michael Cohen on record, because Southern District, remember, did the same thing with me. Every time I talked about Donald Trump or Rudy Giuliani or Zelensky, they
Yeah.
would not put that on record. They didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to take a 302. It's called an FBI 302, where they would have to have a statement of me talking about Donald Trump. So I don't know. I don't know if it was Southern District trying to protect because it was under Bill Barr, or because they didn't think Michael Cohen was a liar, or a combination of both. But Michael Cohen was not able to have that proffer and to give them that information. But that was the
Interesting.
information. But that was the information he was trying to get, and there's more that we're going to look into
So that's
once the
breaking
dump's
news
coming. Breaking news,
because
absolutely.
Epstein
Breaking
didn't.
news.
Yeah,
We
but
got more breaking
Epstein.
news.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah.
Michael
Sorry.
Cohen
Go
kept
ahead.
saying he didn't. Michael Cohen kept saying that he didn't know anything about
Right.
Epstein, that he never met
No,
Epstein,
no.
and that Trump had never said anything about Epstein. I mean, he was saying this as early as a couple of months ago to his audience here on Substack. So one of those things is not true. Either
No,
he knew
it's yeah,
something or he
no.
didn't know something,
He
and it can be
100% knew.
both.
He
Yeah, and let
100%
and let me
knew.
just insert something here for all of you Cohen Substack followers, people that have given him money under the auspices that He's out to protect democracy. He's out to tell the truth. You have been completely fucking defrauded by Michael Cohen.
Yes.
Continue,
Yeah.
Lev. Go ahead.
And we're going to talk about, yeah. And by the way, Brian Krassenstein's with us. Zev, I was going to say to you,
Yeah,
because he is only
no
joining
worries.
us for a few minutes. Can I bring him up and then bring you back
Yeah,
up? Because I
of
want you,
course.
because he has to leave. He has some stuff. So I'm going to
A
drop
lot of
you.
people
We're going
saying
to bring
Zev
Brian.
looks handsome
Uh,
today, by the way. Just point that out. Yeah.
Thank you. It's because I just woke up.
Zev looks great. He looks great. I was gonna say to you. Yeah, one day I'll tell you the messages I send Zev and Dean in the morning to wake them up. Wake up! I'm not gonna say it. Shh. We'll do that later at a different time. Zev, I'll bring you back up. Let me get Brian up
Thank you
here
very
because
much.
All right.
You guys are
absolutely.
See you,
handsome
buddy.
too.
Yeah, yeah. No, we
Yeah.
all look handsome today. We're a bunch of middle-aged snacks. Now we're going to get
Bri-
blown out of the water by the very attractive and very handsome Brian Krasenstein,
right,
the
right,
two most
right.
attractive influencers on Twitter. Yeah, it sucks
Right out of the
sometimes.
right out of the gym, he's gonna come in here all buffed, looking at me, and you're sitting here like that. But anyway,
You know
while
what really
Brian,
drives me crazy about
yeah,
Kraz too is every time he posts pictures of him shirtless on vacation, I'm like, some influencers aren't built the same. It's um,
so
is he
yeah, so
coming? There he
we're
is.
yeah, yeah, Brian's coming up. Yeah, hey
Hey,
Brian, what's
dude.
up? There you
Hey,
Sorry,
go.
hey,
we're just
sorry,
talking
hey.
about you being good looking, you and Ed again.
I can't help it, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
let,
Welcome,
let me
buddy. Good
ask
to
you a
see you.
lot.
How are you?
Good,
A
good.
lot of subscribers ask, do you guys ever like, like for instance, could this really be Ed maybe coming on and you guys play a joke on us? Do you guys ever do that? Ed
No,
comes on and
he's
says, I'm Brian,
uglier.
right?
So if you see Ed, you know because he's the uglier one.
Yeah, I do. Anyway, thank you for joining us, Brian. So let me just finish getting what's happening right now in the plan action. Then I'd love to hear what you've been seeing on X and how it all is playing out and what you're hearing also. So Michael Cohen now has been trying to get through, and one of the people he's been trying to get through is he's built. It's so interesting. He's built a relationship with George Santos. So yes.
Moscow George.
Uh,
Yeah.
more breaking news, folks. More breaking news. We're gonna give you lots of breaking news. So he's built a relationship, and through others, like he's kept a relationship with Matt Gaetz in the background and others that he's been trying to get into Trump world and asking me even how he could get there because he has a way. He told me that he could deliver him and Jesse Jackson Jr. could deliver Trump the Democratic vote and Trump could win. And that would get Jesse Jackson a pardon, he'd get a pardon, we'd all get pardons. I turned around, told him, said, "You're a sick man. If you think that Trump cares about your plan about democracy, while you embarrassed him and his wife in front of the whole world about his little pecker and Stormy Daniels, I said that means you don't know Donald Trump."
Yeah.
So he answered me. So he answered me very interesting. He goes to me, Lev, no, on the contrary, I know Donald Trump very well. And I'm telling you, if we could find something, because he was saying we, because he thought I wanted a pardon also. So I was playing along with it. He goes, if we could find something that could be big enough that Trump, it doesn't matter. He will forget it. Look at what JD Vance. And that started, I got the head thinking at that moment. I was like, what is he really up to? What is he looking at? So I started playing him in the background, listening to some of his conversation. But at that point, I was already on his case. And then if you guys go back to look at some of our Unleashed episodes, you'll see that we started butting heads and going until finally that last one where we hit it. So here's their plan, guys. Michael Cohen has, and I don't know if it's true exactly, who has finally reached out to Trump's ear, has lied about this whole extravagant story to be able to give Trump, and this is Michael's plan that he pitched Trump, and I guess Trump bought into it because this is where we are now, that Trump could get his whole case thrown out. Because it's in appeals right now, because Michael Cohen is going to come out and say that he was coerced by these prosecutors, and specifically Letitia James and Alvin Bragg and Letitia James because Donald Trump he gives them two wins. A, he gives them throwing out the conviction, but B, he gets his revenge on Letitia James because he can't prosecute her because of no, there's no prosecutor that's going to go after
Sure.
the mortgage fraud. So now, if he could give that they did something illegal in the case, so that's why, and I'm sure Brian already seen Donald Trump's Truth post about how this is not, he's not going to stand for this. I'm hearing that, right, there's already conversations. Bondi has already been involved. There's investigation. They're going to announce another investigation into this very shortly. And this is Michael Cohen's way of trying to get a pardon, folks.
Mm.
And this is the plus. So it's like Michael Cohen gets a pardon. He comes over like he was abused by the left. And the crazy part is that, that he really believes it's going to work. I don't think so. I think he is a sick man. I think he needs to get help. I think his family needs to give him some intervention, because I think he's been lying so much, and I think he's keeping such deep secrets inside, and he's been grifting for so long. I think he's literally losing it.
But
But
well,
on that, I'll give it to you, Brian.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you getting ahead of it like you just have, you would think that that would make this whole thing blow up in his face. If we have this video of you telling us all this a month or two before any of this happens, the media will be all over this, and it will be clear what's happening now. How valuable is a pardon to Michael Cohen? That's my question. Like, yeah, of course his
Yeah.
record would be expunged, but other than that, like, is it really that valuable to get back into MAGA world and turn all these people against him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because what a lot of people don't understand is Michael Cohen never changed his wings. Michael Cohen, if you really take a look at Michael Cohen's case,
There was no
guys,
coming to
my
Jesus moment for Michael Cohen. Yeah.
Michael Cohen was an angry man that was pissed off that he got thrown out of a circle that he thought he belonged in. Right when Trump, he felt that, he gave Trump 14 years of his life, and then when Trump made it to the White House, he left him behind. Michael Cohen was a angry man. Let me put it to you this way: I didn't even tell you guys, but I have specials lined up from people that served time with me and Michael Cohen in Otisville Penitentiary, that are going to come on here and tell you who Michael Cohen, how he was treated in prison, how he tried to manipulate and lie and place that. So, Michael Cohen's been paying his head. The only reason a lot of this stuff hasn't come out is because I've been working behind the scenes to put all of this together, and I wanted to get the facts in there. And
Mm.
if God didn't make that whole blow up right before New Year's, when he tried to use my son, Michael Cohen, to whitewash himself, I don't know if I'd still probably, we would have been breaking it now when Ellie found that letter. But either way, the bottom line is that Michael Cohen right now is trying to give Donald Trump's team ammunition to go after Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, to be able to throw out. And this is, you hear it
In
here
exchange for a
first,
pardon.
breaking those,
Yeah.
exchange for a pardon, and exchange, to be able to,
Huge.
make himself. And the reason why Donald Trump is going to do it is because Michael Cohen knows the truth. Because what Michael Cohen was going to tell, and this is important, this is the breaking news. Michael Cohen was going to use the fact that he threatened uh, Katie Johnson, and paid her off, or did whatever had to be done to be able to stop it. Because there is no Jane Doe, there is no other case, there is no other. But she's the only Jane Doe. She's the only 13-year-old that filed a case against Epstein and Michael, and Trump, and he was the one at that time who was the main person that was dealing it. And that was what he was going to give the DOJ to get out of jail card. He was going to nail Trump, get himself a free jail card, and now
Wow.
he's using it.
That's huge. That is huge. Brian, obviously you own Twitter, you and Ed, it's yours. What is the feedback there? Obviously very different here. Michael Cohen did not a coffee and tea with Levin Dean. He did coffee with Michael Cohen today. That's a new brand that he launched. To about 115 people, and even in that chat, they were like, "Why don't you just fucking tell the truth?" What's the temperature? And give me the Krasenstein take here on this heel turn.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not surprising at all to me. Like how many people like this is Trump's MO. You get expelled from his circle, you do something that he likes, you give him information, and he brings you back in with open arms. That's usually how it works. It's worked for several other people. Now,
Elon Musk.
Exactly, right there. Elon Musk is probably the most immediate example. On X, like this story is just only starting to pick up on X. It didn't blow up totally yet, and I think it will. But I think that those on the right are a little bit hesitant because they too don't trust Michael Cohen, just like now we don't. I mean, I never totally trusted him. I always thought it was odd that he was so like he kept denying any association with Epstein and Trump, and that was weird to me. Like
Makes no
it's so
chronological
clear,
sense. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So, like I can't stick around long. I'm in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
I got some things to do. But Lev, keep doing this. Keep me posted. If you have any videos you want me to share on X to just get this out there,
absolutely.
let me know.
Yeah, no, we're definitely gonna get. We're putting it together. Ellie, the team, everybody. We're gonna do a Zoom call, but we're gonna expose this. We can't. We gotta be ahead of the game because the media is not going to do, especially after you saw what CNN did with me and Scott Jennings. So
Yeah.
that's a separate story.
Yeah.
Can I?
But yeah,
And sorry, and can I just everybody go and follow Ed or Brian
yeah. Before
Krasenstein on Twitter right now
before they
in
leave, yeah,
Minneapolis. Just set the table for us of what you're doing there, and you're doing God's work. Just let us know so we can promote that here if you can.
Yeah, yes.
yeah.
So it
Please,
started out. I actually have friends here, and I brought my kids, so my whole family's here. So we're not like protesting right now, but I do have meetings set up with some people running for Congress. I have some meetings set up with people within the city. I'm not going to be out protesting just because I can't with my kids, and
Yeah,
we have some
smart.
plans. But yeah, it's brutal. You see ice everywhere, right? Like at every store you go to, there's ice or the presence, and restaurants are shut down. You can't go out to eat because so many of the restaurants locally are shut down. It's not good. It's terrible for the city.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on you on Twitter,
yeah,
Substack as well, at
yes, please,
Krasenstein here on Twitter.
please,
Ed and Brian, give him a follow. Dude, always great to see you. Go do God's work, and
absolutely.
we'll check in, and
Yeah,
we'll be in touch.
And stay
keep
safe, brother.
going,
Stay
Lev.
safe.
Yeah, keep
Absolutely.
going,
Stay
guys.
safe, my brother.
Thanks.
Thank you,
See you
man.
We'll
guys.
talk to you soon. There's a dude, right? There's a guy.
Yeah.
There's a guy. We
Yep.
got a guy. Dude, you just launched some huge breaking news, right? That Donald Trump and Michael Cohen are not only in contact again, they have struck some kind of deal to not talk about Katie Johnson, not talk about the threatening and the rape, the sexual assault of a 13-year-old girl that Michael Cohen's alleged to have paid off or threatened to go away, which is one of the biggest sort of Rosetta Stones in and around what we're talking about when it comes to, the example of the Epstein files in women and young people, children who were raped, who were trafficked, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And for Michael Cohen for the last 2-3 years to be on this holier than thou tour, to then when he gets caught lying, when he gets caught and called out by you and everybody else for being a Trojan horse because we physically can see the evidence. And then when we see the work involved of him going back to Donald Trump for a pardon, I go back to several conversations you and I had with Cohen right here on this very Substack, on yours, on his as well this year, where he would talk about how there was no Russia collusion and he's desperate to get to the bottom of Russia collusion, and Jim Comey's a piece of shit and he's the reason why he's in jail. All he talked about privately was a fucking pardon. So this is sort of the moment for Donald Trump and Michael Cohen. But the question a lot of people asking is this a motive of opportunity at the moment, or was he always kind of laying in wait for Donald Trump and the MAGA regime?
See, this was a very tough thing for Michael Cohen. That's why people need to understand. There are some people are saying, well, why didn't Michael Cohen say it earlier if he had it? You got to understand. This is, a very, very major thing to come out because not everybody understands that Katie Johnson was a 13-year-old girl that got,
Mhm.
I mean, brutally raped, assaulted by not only Epstein, but by Trump. To make matters worse, everybody also knows that the story that there was an individual that had to be really, really bad, maybe even worse than Trump, and them to cover it up, to go threaten her, to be
Mhm.
able or pay her off, whatever the case was, whatever it is, to shut her up right before the elections not to come out. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
And to be that individual, and for Michael Cohen to come out and lay Donald Trump out, he would have to then admit he was that individual. And Michael Cohen is not stupid. He understands that even though he would take Donald Trump down, but he would never, it would, that's not a mea culpa moment. People would still not forgive. I mean, how can you forgive just because it's like, do you think anybody forgave Sammy the Bull Gravano for killing 19 people because he ratted out John Gotti? No. Yes, people were like, okay, great, he got him out. Thank God Gotti went, you took a mobster off. But you don't forget the death that this person caused. So Michael understood that the thing that he did, the cover up to help and one of somebody saying subpoena Cohen. Absolutely, that's part of what we're going to talk about today. Subpoenaing Cohen, not only Michael Cohen, but Michael Wolf also. That's
Mm.
that's another snake in the hole we're going to talk about that needs to come out. We're going to talk about all of them. Also, I want to do a shout out to incredible. By the way, we have an incredible Julie Brown is here. Julie, you are. I would love for you to come up if you would love to come up and talk about Epstein because you are the original person that has been breaking this stuff. So
The
I would
Julie
love
K.
to.
Brown is in the chat. Is she
Yes,
watching right now? God, Julie, God bless you.
yeah. I
What
mean,
a hero Julie K. Brown is. If you can
let,
pop on and join us and talk a little bit about Mr. Cohen's heel turn, that would be lovely. But if
let
anybody,
me try.
everybody needs to follow Julie K. Brown here on Substack. She, Tara Palmieri, Zev to some extent, you. There are so many people out there that have been dogged about getting answers for victims, children who turn into very broken adults, homes, families that have been completely destroyed. And listen, I also want to bring something up. Is that your son Aaron broke a news story not long ago this morning? Is that the Trump DOJ has now sent a letter to everybody on the Epstein oversight, the House Oversight Committee, saying effectively there will be no more Epstein files dumps. This government
Oh,
has no
really?
response. Just now, yeah, Aaron just put it out. There will be
I
no
didn't.
more. Yeah, I'll
You
read it
see,
to you.
while I'm with you, Aaron's texting me, and I didn't even see. Aaron was probably texting me, Dad. Oh my God, I love him. I
Dad, you got
love
to
him.
talk about it. So if you go to
He's
the
the
Parnas
best.
Project, let me just it's we're surrounded by the Parnas family, but thank God because they're all American heroes. Everybody, it's good. It's good to surround yourself with the Parnases. So Aaron puts out Justice Department says no court can force its release of the Epstein files as cover up grows. This critical update, and I'll just read this from Aaron Parnas. Everybody go and follow, subscribe to the Parnas Project. I have a crucial update for you overnight while most of the country slept. The Justice Department formally admitted in federal court that no court can force it to release the Epstein files or compel compliance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act in a filing today saying, respectfully, the government submits that the court lacks authority to enter the requested relief. So, thoughts?
That's I mean, that's my boy. I love him. But the thoughts, yeah. I mean, this is part of this is you're seeing this is not coincidence, folks. You're seeing a plan play out. Michael Cohen. When Ellie and I'm gonna see Julie. I'm gonna try Julie again. Julie, if you can't come up, just let us know. No problem. No pressure. If you just want to hang out and watch and listen, that's also great. We're honored to have you here. But you are definitely somebody that knows more about the Epstein files and breaking in and definitely if you can't come up, we have over close to 4,000 people here. They would love to hear some of what
I got
anything
two and a
you
half
hear
on
or
my
anything.
end. So there's about six and a half
Yeah,
thousand people that are in the chat
exactly.
right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely. And if not, we
Is
understand
that
we'll
more
get
than 100? Is that more than 100 that Cohen had for coffee today?
listen, it's not even, it's not even, I don't even know. Like, I tell you honestly, Cohen,
Do you
and it's
feel?
not
Can
just
I ask
Cohen
you a
though.
question? I'm actually
Yeah,
ask you a
yeah,
personal question
yeah,
because you're my friend.
yeah,
Let's talk about the friendship aspect of
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Do you always had your sniffer up about Cohen? You and I have had that conversation a few times, and you were always very complimentary, but also very suspicious. Do you feel let down as a friend?
No, because I never consider him my friend. See, I live in
Mm.
life in a different way. Friends, you could probably count. on your hand. Acquaintances, we go through life, the way I look at it is we have lots of acquaintances, but
Mm.
friends is a very strong word to use. That's why when sometimes people said Michael Cohen, I said, wait a second, stop right there. If Michael Cohen was my friend, I wouldn't be here. What's it called? I would probably be just the type of garbage that he is, because I remember my dad, even at a young age, would tell me who your friend is, I'll tell you who you are. So that's
Yeah.
why to call a person your friend that's like a very strong word. But Michael and me were acquaintances. This doesn't surprise me. This doesn't anger me, because again, people keep forgetting who Michael Cohen was and Michael Cohen is. Michael Cohen was not Donald Trump's chief of staff. Michael Cohen was not Donald Trump's accountant. Donald Trump, he was not Donald Trump's lawyer, real
He's a
estate
fixer.
lawyer. He was a fixer. He was the guy that came out, threatened people, paid people off, and he admitted it. He told you. He wrote a book about it. He talks about it. And right now, his biggest thing is that he is not part of that world. That he is not with them. That he can't. That he is not able to go have the access to Trump and make all of this money by Just think about going back. If you guys want to look at some of the articles, how he was making money and while Trump just got into office by lobbying, by all these people paying him, that he comes around and talks about that. That's not really how it happened. He tries to sideswipe it. So listen, I
Always
mean, it
has
is what
too.
it
You
is.
know that? Like it's been fascinating because you and I will be doing a show and Cohen will jump in and go, no, the Russians weren't involved in the sale of that Palm Beach house. And it's fucking well documented that they were. No, that has nothing to do with that. Or no, that has nothing to do with Epstein. I never and he would pump into these chats all the time when people will go, well, Cohen should know about this. And it's fascinating because it's not like he's telling a different story anymore because he's been cornered. He's completely flipped the script and he's gone nuclear. And he has offered Donald Trump a get out of jail free card. And he has offered Donald Trump an avenue to go after Letitia James and Alvin Bragg to blunt what's going on in the Southern District of New York. And the reason why he's doing it, and I go back to this all the time, even in private conversation, I had a FaceTime with him a while ago, and he just talked about a pardon. That's it. Wajahat Ali, the left hook, you
Well,
good looking son of a gun, you. How are you?
I mean,
Dean, Happy New Year, sir. How you doing?
Uh,
Were
good,
you
good.
smart? Like, I hope you rested and weren't like me and Lev. Right now, I need Lev on a train. I have planes and I have automobiles. I need a train. Lev, just get on a
yes,
train from Florida to
Yeah.
yesterday,
DC.
yeah,
Well,
yesterday
it
was
was funny
something
because he
that,
called me this morning and we started to have a chat, kind of set up coffee and tea, and he's like, "I was on with Waj at 2 in the fucking morning," and I'm like, "He didn't," and he goes, "Yeah, he did. What the fuck happened? He just called you guys and you decided to go live at 2 o'clock." And by the way,
So first of
the
all,
traffic on it was massive.
I called Zev. I texted Zev. And I'm like, I wonder who's awake. And then Zev's like, let me see. He goes, I have to find like my partner. And then she's like, bro, I'll get divorced. I said, go to sleep. And then I was thinking about I thought for about 5 seconds to text Ellie, and I'm like, she has 4 kids. She suffered enough. And then I texted Lev because I'm like, I just wanted Lev to know because I thought he was flying. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to flag for him once he landed that this broke and it's spreading on right wing. And just the way I saw it track, I'm like, this has to be coordinated, especially with Donald Trump. And it's
Yeah.
based on everything that we've been saying. It kind of exposed itself first on Zev's panel. And I
Yeah.
happened to be on that panel, then I left. And then apparently Michael just blew up on Zev and he blew up on Tara and he just blows up on everyone. So for the last 2 weeks or so, Lev and myself and Ellie are like, there's something there. So I thought Lev would find out about it in the morning, but then Lev's like, I'm driving. And then he, next thing you know, he's like Mad Max driving. I'm like, bro, like all of us were like, please drive and don't die. He goes, it's okay. My daughter's the one filming. And so then we went live. And I think, it was really good because people found it very helpful because they're like, wait, what am I reading? And they didn't connect all the dots. So now we're doing a deeper dive.
Yeah.
yeah.
Talk a little bit, Waj. I mean, you're not surprised. You are one of the very few people that has held Cohen's feet to the fire in lives, one-on-ones, group lives, Substacks, podcasts, et cetera, whatever you want to call it. Walk us through your take, because you have not been a shrinking violet when it comes to holding truth to honesty, right?
My
Waj has been the man. Yeah,
Yeah, he
man. God
has.
bless
He's been
Waj.
awesome. Yeah.
He's been on this.
He
You know,
stands
he's
on
one
his
of
fucking
he's the,
business, this man.
no,
Always.
yeah,
try,
no.
right? You have to
Listen,
have the
yeah,
courage of your convictions, and
Yeah.
sometimes you walk alone in life, but that's fine. People jump on and people jump off. And with Michael, and even with Lev, right? We talked about this yesterday. A lot of people are
Yep.
like, man, these people who did horrible things, these people who were friends with the worst people, how can we trust them? And then I always say, I believe in redemption. Redemption has to be earned. You have to trust people by their actions. I'm not God. I don't know what's anyone's heart. And, you know, Dean, you and me have been in this business long enough. Some of the people with the great politics are really nice. Behind the scenes, you know, they're scummy. You know, it's all fickle. You know, it's all transactional. So you know how this business is, right? So you're like, okay.
Oh, you've got a media sniffer on you too, right? Yeah.
As long as you know, do the work and show it in your behavior and your actions, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, right? With Michael, my spidey sense has always been, you know, that's why I never invited him on the left hook. My spidey sense, especially when it came to the Epstein files, you got to trust your instincts. And I'm like, he seems to be transparent on everything. He seems to be like, oh, a reformed warrior. But when it comes to the Epstein files, an analogy I gave to Lev yesterday was, remember David Brooks about 2 months ago did that really strange New York Times column? He's like, I'm over the Epstein files. And I'm like, why, bro? Like, this is the #1 story.
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, for those who don't know, it was revealed in the Epstein files that David Brooks's photo was there in like this meeting. I'm not saying he did anything, but he was in a meeting post pedophile Epstein, and Epstein's right there in the room. So, you know, what I've said and Lev has said on his show, my show, and now your show is, if you know this man, Jeffrey Epstein, if you're in these files, I think it behooves you to be completely transparent. You say, listen, I met the guy. I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, Dean, because, you know, we've been in these situations where you're invited somewhere and someone else shows up. You don't know the person. You're like, yeah, I'm in this photo with this person. I had no idea there was a pedophile. I was invited for a speech. I gave my speech. I left. Great. But what you can do is try to gaslight us. And what Michael Cohen has been doing clearly for the past few weeks is not only just gaslighting us, but gaslighting us in the worst way possible, where it makes it very clear that he's hiding something, Dean. Like when you blow up on Zev, who's asking the most benign, non-malicious question, when you blow up on Tara Palmieri, when you're evasive with Joe Walsh, when you're evasive with Jim Acosta, and then we know you're Trump's fixer, and Dean, we know that you used to bully and threaten women for Donald Trump, and we know you went to jail for your client. You only had one client, Donald Trump, because you paid them off, Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, right, falsifying business informations right before the election. You know you have a pattern. And then when it comes to the Epstein files, Ellie Leonard's Substack follower found this one document that I don't think Michael Cohen ever thought would ever get out, in which he asks for a Rule 35 consideration. And for those who don't, I'm sure you've explained this to everyone, but for those who don't know,
shorter sentence for dirt. That's what Rule 35
there you go.
is. Yeah.
Rule 35 is when your attorney is like, hey, I got something for you. You want to commute the sentence? That's what it is, folks. So the fact that in 2019, Michael Cohen's attorneys then reached out to the Southern District of New York for a Rule 35 consideration and alleged, hey, Michael has heard Donald Trump talk about Epstein. So the questions we should have is, what does Michael Cohen know? What did Donald Trump say? Are we to believe that Michael Cohen's attorneys decided on their own charity to just randomly call the SDNY or contact them and say, I think Michael Cohen might have? Of course not. Michael told his attorneys, oh, look, Epstein got caught. I'm in prison. I might have some stuff for you. Think about do a quid pro quo, tit for tat. That's what happens. Commutation of the sentence if it helps the government. And so the fact that Michael has lied about it says, I don't know anything. The fact that he's blown up on people. What I believe, and again, we don't know, right? So you're asking me what I believe. This is what we know now. We know that this happened. That's a fact. What I believe is he has the goods, the dirt on Donald Trump. He wants to get a pardon. He believes he's about to lose the left, right? Or whatever is the resistance movement.
He got smoked out. Yeah.
He got smoked out. He needs a new grift. So now he's going to crawl back to Trump's anus. And the way he's done it is, okay, I know how you operate, boss. I'll give you Letitia James and Alvin Bragg. And I know you hate the fact that you're a convicted criminal in the state of New York, your home state. So I'm going to plan this. All of a sudden in 2026, 7 years after the fact, I'm now going to say that Bragg and Letitia James coerced me, and I'm going to use the same exact language that Lisa Murkowski is using to describe what you are doing to Jerome Powell and Senator Kelly and the House Democrats and now, Governor Walz, because that's what we do. We're so shameless. It's all projection all the time. We're going to muddy the waters. We're going to rally up the base. And then look at the timing of it, right? Which is why I jumped on it early, because I'm like, I know how right-wing media thinks. The majority corporate establishment, the left sleep on it. I don't sleep on it. I know how this spreads like wildfire. Let's get on top of this shit. So I was exhausted. I'm like, I want to get on top of it for the majority before they muddy the waters. And then I saw Cohen Substack post, New York Post ran with it, Fox ran with it, Twitter ran with it, Daily Mail ran with it, and then Donald Trump responded. I'm like, oh, this is coordinated. And so then I brought in Lev. Lev then worked with his sources. And the last thing I'll say is, Midas touch. You gotta drop Michael Cohen, man.
Yeah.
And he's asking people to be paid subscribers. Give that money to Dean. Give it to Lev. Give it to Ellie, folks.
To charity. Give it to charity. Give it to charity. So I say Substack needs to, because he's a liar and everything. We need to do a petition, and whatever the money there's, like, give it to charity. Let's find a charity for the homeless in either in Palestine or in Ukraine, or people that need it. Let's give the money to charity that he's out there. I mean, or something like that, because this guy, and I don't know if you were on here, Waj. I've confirmed some of the stuff that that we were talking about yesterday. Basically, what he was planning on giving the Southern District of New York was the Katie Johnson story. He was going to basically tell him that Trump ordered him to shut her up. And that's why there's also, I'm being told and we're gonna bring Ellie up soon, because we need her eyes and her people to look through the files, because I'm being told that there's more. There was another follow-up DOJ letter where Cohen then came back with a small proffer through his attorneys, without going into detail, but talks a little about the Epstein stuff. And that's why Cohen understood that if that came out, that's coming out. That's why the timing, and that's why Donald Trump, this is the only thing that Donald Trump would even accept, because this is something that would blow Donald Trump's whole thing over. So right now, they're doing damage control, and with the damage control, they're going in the attack. And because he couldn't get Letitia James for mortgage fraud, and no prosecutor would even go for it, now he's going to go after him and Alvin Bragg on corruption, but also use that, like Michael Cohen in his letter said, the reason I'm doing it is because of the timing, is because of the appeals right now that's happening. I mean, that's just sick to think about. He's literally writing the letter to help Donald Trump get the case thrown out and get conviction cleared.
And listen, let's look at that as completely fucking sick as well. And I'll explain why real quick. Is that Michael Cohen in that Substack, and don't read it. We're going to paraphrase for you. Don't subscribe, subscribe to other people, give the money to charity, Save America movement, what have you. But, the sickness there is that you have confirmed that Michael Cohen is willing to trade the safety, security, and authenticity of the sexual assault of a 13-year-old girl in exchange for a favor from America's rapist and felon president. That's the sickness here. Like, if you want to brass tax it, that's what Donald Trump is doing with Michael Cohen right now. That's what Michael Cohen's only one-shot arrow is, to be able to give himself clemency or get some of that reputation back, which I don't think he gives a fuck about anymore. What I think he cares most about is finding community again. And he has said this time and time again. And Lev, I want your thoughts, and Waj, yours. Is that he has said this on numerous occasions. Steve Schmidt said it this week on our catch-up. We do it every single Wednesday. Is Michael Cohen several times has said if he could do it over again, he would ingratiate himself back into Trump's good graces so that he could continue to be the person he was, because he misses that action. He misses that evilness. He misses that misery. He misses that nightmare. And so if you don't think for 1 second, Waj, to your point, that this isn't an opportunity that he's been lying in wait for that fucking pardon, you're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Look, human beings are social creatures, and we need validation, we need community, and we oftentimes need our ego struck, right? So Michael Cohen used to be the man. He was the man next to Donald Trump. And guess who became president? Donald Trump. Guess who's one of the most powerful supervillains on earth? Donald Trump. Michael Cohen, this resistance gig, he tried to perform it for 6, 7 years, probably wears thin. He doesn't get the money, he doesn't get the bling, he doesn't get the power, he's not in the room, he's not in the deals, right? And now I realize, oh God, they sniffed me out. The Epstein files, they're going to lose me over the Epstein files. Let me go back to what I know, boss. I can still be useful to you, boss. I'll give you Megyn Kelly, for example. Megyn Kelly was mocked and ridiculed by Donald
Yeah.
Trump, the most horrific misogynist comments. You all remember. They kicked her out. She goes to NBC. They give her a record $69 million to stink up the joint. She fails up in life, walks away with $60 million. Her show doesn't even last 1 year, Dean. Remember that?
Yep.
I'm hurt and I even get $6 million. You will never hear from me again. I'm retiring. I'm buying my parents a house. I'm paying off my school debt. I'm going to travel the world, give them the rest of the money to charity. She then ingratiates herself back into MAGA, is even worse than she used to be, and now has the spotlight again. Now, at what cost, right? You have a soul. She's given up her soul. She's made excuses for the Epstein girls. She calls them barely legal. Oh no, Megan, they were underage and it's illegal. And then she's celebrating the murder of Renee Nicole Good. Likewise,
I believe she also said she doesn't care if a president gets handsy with the young lady as long
you go.
as
And she has
her child doesn't have to go swimming with a transvestite.
There you go. So some of these individuals, like, just believe them at their word. This is who they are. You don't have to believe in conspiracy theories. This is who they are. They're taking the masks off. And I think with Michael, he's trying to protect himself, get the pardon, ingratiate himself with Trump, get back in the, be one of those made men again, right? Like Goodfellas. And I do want to say, for those who are joining us late, there's mostly 4,500 people, which is amazing. If you can, Dean and Lev, for those who don't know, can you just tell them about Katie Johnson and why this is a big deal? The pseudonym of Katie Johnson, Lev, for those who joined us late.
Absolutely, Dean. You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
No, go ahead. I'll fill in where I can. Yeah, absolutely. This is your show,
So
dude.
no, I mean, listen, I mean,
It's our
Katie
show.
John, yeah, it's all of our show, folks. We're all together. So Katie Johnson and I played it, her video, her testimony on my show. I wrote letters about her. She came out, basically. She was a 13-year-old girl that got brought into this world. She was brought in by another woman. Not Maxwell. It was somebody else. There was another woman that we're looking into. We're trying to find there's another witness. There's another person that was bringing in these 13, 14-year-old girls, where Epstein was holding these parties, private sexual parties. And the details are very gruesome. I'm not going to re-talk about the details, but Katie Johnson filed a lawsuit. In the lawsuit, she named
I'll give
Donald
those
Trump.
details if you don't mind. Epstein and Trump, according to Katie Johnson's testimony, took turns raping her and physically abusing her. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, she had the courage to stand up, and she filed an actual criminal complaint. She filed a lawsuit, and in the process, right before the elections in 2016, it was reported on that she basically was made to shut up. We don't have how she was made to shut up. Was she paid off? Was she threatened? Was it a combination? After that, Katie Johnson has come out several times. We don't know where she is. She's been hiding out, but through other people and through sources, she's come out and has been very, adamant, talking about that she was threatened, she's scared, her life is in fear, and this was an actual person, an actual survivor, victim, 13-year-old girl, that if you go back and listen to her testimony or read about how even the detail. And this is important because we talk about detail. I think is very important to any story, because detail shows you. And if you take a look at her transcript, and a lot of professionals have, and look at her testimony, the detail she goes into, the way Trump responded, the way Trump did this and did that. And if you take a look at it, and anybody that knows Donald Trump, and you close your eyes, you know that it was him. You know that this was the. She's not lying. So to me, it was always like a very passionate thing. I wanted to get to the bottom of who that person was, and I always thought it was Michael. I always thought, because in my mind, knowing the world, there was nobody else that it could have been in my mind. But knowing the world we live in, you can't just go accuse somebody of something they didn't do, and him being so adamant. But
Did you ever ask him?
Oh, when Tara, that's when Tara Palmieri, that whole thing happened. That's what ignited it. Because right
Yeah.
afterward, I did ask him, and his response to me was very like aggressive towards Tara. When I got off the phone with him, I called Tara, Tara Palmieri. Me and her got on the phone. I said, Tara, I want you to understand right now, and I'll bring Tara on so people know that I said I'm not with him. I am going to find out what's going on, and when I find out, I'm going to bring you on, and we're going to break the story. And Tara was waiting just for the right moment because at that point, and then right after that, the Zev situation, what Waj was talking about, happened like literally a couple of days or a week right after the Tara Palmieri situation. And what really made me understand that Michael, because it came out, is when I got into it with him about Zev, because he threatened Zev, not threatened, but said like, may Zev choke on something, made a very nasty comment
Out of
on
nowhere,
our
out of
out of
nowhere.
nowhere, out of
Yeah,
nowhere,
it was a
literally.
really comfortable moment in
Right.
Substack Live history. Yeah.
Yeah, out of nowhere. And, I called him afterwards and I said so. I said, dude, are you crazy? Because he also told all of our subscribers to go F themselves.
Yeah.
Basically, me, Malcolm, and him are doing a live. And he basically said to whoever doesn't like it or doesn't, because people start saying, Cohen, shut up or tell the truth. He basically told everybody, unsubscribe. So I called him afterwards. I said, and I went live and I wrote a letter to my subscribers that I apologize. That's never going to happen. And I told him, I said, Cohen, you can't do that. You can't be telling my people to go screw themselves or F themselves because you're going on a rant. And I said, second of all, I said, what look, I said, me and you have gone through a very similar path. And the path that supposedly you chose was similar to mine, is to confront the truth and bring out, speak truth to power. I said, so if there's accusations right now of you doing something, why are you hiding from it? Come go. If I was you, Michael, I said I would get Zev, I would get Tara Palmieri, I would do a live with them, and I would confront them, and I would get this all out in the open, clear it up, and move on. I
Yep.
said that's how I would do it. I said if I was blamed. And he responded to me, and this is what really got to me, and that's why I called Zev right afterwards. He turned around to me and said, like he forgot for a second. He went into his Donald Trump mode and got into that. He's like F Zev and F Tara and like I have more followers than both of them combined. What do you think his 17,000 followers are going to be able to? This story will die out tomorrow. I'll shut this up. I'm not gonna confront. And he goes on this tirade to
Delusional.
me, delusional about like I'm not gonna talk to him. I said, you know what, Michael? I said after this, I said I just want you to understand. I'm not going to defend you. I'm not going out there to what's it called, and until somehow fix this up, we're not going back on Unleash together. And that was my last conversation with Michael. Until then, all of a sudden, he tried to go use my son, and just like he used my son, I want everybody to know, because a lot of people, and like Wash said, he started said that the Midas guys, you should drop him, and I'm sure they will. I mean, that's their decision, everybody. But I want to make it very clear to everybody: we are not, and today. Are attacking the Midas guys. We're not attacking any of the good individuals out there that got conned, because Michael Cohen's a con man. He conned not only the Midas touch, he conned not only people like Michael Popak, and conned people like Glenn Kirshner. He's conned a lot of people, media, to be able to do this. Okay, so let's not blame anybody right now and go start attacking people. But with that said, I want to make it very clear that everybody is on notice. After today, after all of this news came out, if anybody continues to platform him or continue to defend him or continue to give him a platform, know this, and I'm saying it out loud, you, in my mind, will be considered the same pedophile protector as Michael Cohen, Donald Trump, and all of the other cabal. So today, that's not the case. But tomorrow is a different world, whoever. Is
Mm.
that fair, Wash? Is that fair to say
I
to
mean,
everybody?
it's anyone who now voluntarily platforms Michael Cohen without any pushback, and gives him money. I mean, yeah, you have to ask yourself why. Like, why are you willing to now platform a man? And we're not making any of this up. This is, look, I got nothing. There's no beef here between me and Michael Cohen, right? Like,
Yep.
I don't know the guy. But my take on this is it's 2026. Donald Trump yesterday, through the Justice Department, it's Donald Trump's Justice Department. I refuse to call it even the Justice Department. It's his Luca Brasi, Pam Bondi, has now threatened a criminal investigation into Mayor Fry and Governor Walz. Okay. These people are just trying to protect their citizens. I wish they would be a little bit more bold. It is not illegal to criticize ICE. Now they're saying they're illegally impeding an investigation. It's complete bullshit. It's unprecedented. As they're doing this, they literally threatened Jerome Powell. In an unprecedented move, Dean and Lev, Jerome Powell, just last Sunday, I know it seems like 6 years ago, published and edited his own 2-minute video, essentially whistleblowing and saying that the Trump, I refuse to call it even the DOJ, Trump through his DOJ is now threatening criminal indictment of Jerome Powell. You better lower the interest rates or else. And yeah, that happened in Turkey. Check out Turkey's economy. Good luck, America, right? He's also threatening Senator Kelly. He's also threatening Elisa Slotkin, right? So as this is happening, Michael Cohen has chosen on his Substack to now throw a black woman who's already been harassed and targeted by Donald Trump, Letitia James, and now wants to now go after her and Alvin Bragg, a black man, knowing that would be good chum for the base. He says all the right words that will help MAGA. Donald Trump comes in, attacks Letitia James and Alvin Bragg, right? So you tell me, folks, what does it say about someone after all of this? And oh yeah, I haven't even talked about the Epstein files. Bro, why did your attorney reach out a couple of years ago while you were in prison and said and had a Rule 35 consideration? What did you know? And now you're actually lying. When Tara and other people ask you, you say, I know nothing, and then you shut down. So either you're lying or you expect us to believe your attorneys on their own decided to reach out to the Southern District of New York. Clearly, this mother effer is lying. Clearly, he's hiding something. And what he's hiding is information about the biggest cover-up in which the world's most powerful, wealthy men raped and trafficked girls. So, that's just my take. If someone still wants to platform and work with Michael Cohen.
Yeah, I mean, at your own leisure, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to do work with Michael Cohen, and let's kind of button hook and combine Aaron Parnas' incredible reporting this morning, Lev's son.
Oh, did you hear? Watch.
Yeah, did you hear about the latest? Is that the Trump DOJ has now filed a I don't know what you call it. They've sent a note to to Congress, to the Oversight Committee, saying that in no way, shape, or form is the Trump regime allowed to or going to release any more files because the court of opinion doesn't matter as much as the courts, and Donald Trump has the ultimate say. So therefore, Pam Bondi has now put a file forward saying, we're done. You don't get anything else because we don't have any responsibility to give you those files that are related to the Epstein Files Transparency Act. And this is because the Katie Johnson thing looks like it might be buttoned up for Donald Trump if Michael Cohen is going to make good on his promise, right?
Well, it's not only that, guys. This is why they just said this is not coincidence. I'm going to give you more breaking news. They're looking for the other because I'm telling you, Michael Cohen gave a proffer. They're right now looking for that. They're scared that if they release that proffer and it says that Katie Johnson or mentions Trump or in that proffer, it's over with. That's why this is not coincidence. Nothing here is coincidental. Michael Cohen puts out the letter, Trump responds, and today the DOJ comes out and says, "That's it. We're not giving you anything. That's it. You've seen enough. You got them." As soon as Michael Cohen says that, I might be involved in the Katie Johnson thing, all of a sudden everybody, let's stop. We're not. They are looking for anything that because now they know that Michael Cohen. They didn't know that because just think about it. Think about how we found it. Michael Cohen used this as a way to try to defend himself, saying that, oh, if this was a big deal, all the media would have found this and been speaking about it. But think about it, everybody missed it. A subscriber, one of Ellie's subscriber found it. Not even Ellie, not even as all these people. Just think about all these eyes looking through it, and somebody's subscriber found it. If that subscriber does not find it, we're not talking about this right now. It might go unnoticed. Somebody might not have seen it for another year, right, guys?
I feel. Look, we've always said this, Dean and Lev. We've always said, Lev and I have said this since the summer, that Donald Trump's Achilles cancle is the Epstein files. And this is not, this does not mean we don't pay attention to the grift, the fact that he's pardoned fraudsters. Him and his family somehow have made $5 billion. He's illegally invaded Venezuela. Now he's put tariffs on EU. He's about to blow up NATO. Yeah, you can juggle all the balls, keep your eyes on all the balls, but the biggest club that we still have is the Epstein files.
Yep.
And as you see, literally in real time, they're willing to burn the country down, burn themselves down, gaslight their own base about the Epstein files. But the good news is, as someone mentioned in the chat, he is negative 35 on the Epstein files. He's negative double digits, folks. Trump is weak, which also now enrages me about the Democratic establishment and their fecklessness and their cowardice and their weakness. I rarely get angry. And the last week I've been angry because he's negative double digits on everything, folks, on the economy, on healthcare, on foreign policy, on his strongest issue, immigration. Now he's negative 25. On Epstein, he's negative 35. It's the only thing in America, folks, that overwhelming majority of Americans agree on. The number has gone from 75 to now 80 to some polls. I saw 84% of Americans agree that Donald Trump should release the Epstein files. 84% of Americans don't agree on anything. And this includes independents and his base. I think in order to save ourselves from all the other shit that he's doing to make China and Russia great again and the oligarchy, if folks, they're sitting on, and this is why I think we have some good news. He can't plug all the leaks. And these are the leaks that I have in my head that he can plug, and I've missed any. Dean and Lev jump in. First and foremost, the survivors. Can't shut them up. Second of all, the Epstein estate, not the files, folks, the estate. The estate is sitting on massive documents. They've already given some to the Democrats. Number 3, Ghislaine Maxwell. Her ass ain't going to be in prison. She sees all these fraudsters getting commuted and pardoned. Oh, you better believe she's going to start singing more and more. And then number 4, the FBI agents who all operated off the same Excel sheet document when they were tasked to read and scrub Donald Trump's names, you better believe there's some whistleblowers. So what I would do if I am a Democrat, here is some free advice as Chuck Schumer writes sternly worded letters. Every single day, release one file, release something. Just Dean and Lev, every 2 days, just release something. Because what it'll do, it'll dominate the news. It'll put him on the back foot. It'll increase his unpopularity. More and more people will say release the Epstein files. And I'm really proud of one thing is that if you look on social media, both Republicans, Democrats, Twitter's a Nazi hellscape, blue sky. Every day, Lev and Dean, every day I see people say, oh, cool. Where are the Epstein files?
Yeah.
People have
that's it.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And to your point, his Achilles cankle. I love it when you drop the cankle references. By the way, they're looking very swollen.
Right. I love it.
But the idea that America agrees in any way, shape, or form in 2026 is unheard of unless we're talking about these Epstein files. To your point,
can I give you some more breaking news, some good news, but actually good news. So those of you that watched, I had Congressman Jamie Raskin on my show last week, and one of the things that we spoke about on the show is Dan Bongino. So as I always say, Congressman Raskin is somebody I look up to because he brings the fight. So yesterday, and I'm getting the clip I'm going to play out on the House floor. He made a whole statement of how they're about to bring in Dan Bongino, and they want to know why Dan Bongino quit so right before the Epstein files, and they want to know what Dan Bongino knows and what Dan Bongino is saying. So I want to say that I know it sounds like things are moving slowly, but things are moving, folks. Believe me, we got Dan Bongino right now. Congress, he has him on the floor. We got Michael Cohen blowing everything up, is showing us exactly who these people are, what they are. So that's what I'm saying to you. It's the new year has started, just like we said. This new year, it's not about reaction. It's not about going just right. We are taking action. And that's what you're seeing. We're calling them out. Doesn't matter where they are, whose side they are. We're calling them out. And that's why people like Wajahid Ali with the left hook, people like Ellie Leonard, people like Zev Shalev, Dean Blundell, Nick Parrow, Shane. I mean, I could name. I mean, incredible Julie K. Brown. I mean, people that are out there doing some incredible work that are keeping the focus on the Epstein files, because everybody else out there is doing the same regurgitation of the media. But we are here, and we promise you, and we will make sure that we are going to get about. And because of the pressure we're putting on, because of your help and this is why things like this are happening. Michael, this is how criminals get arrested. Because when you put the pressure on them, they start to make mistakes.
That's
They
right.
start to break. And once we put pressure on Michael Cohen, yesterday he couldn't handle it. He made his move. Donald Trump responded. And now here we are, folks. This is just the beginning, like Waj said. And thanks for Waj to coming out last night to be ahead of the game, because the right-wing media is already all over it and is
That's
already
why.
trying to turn it in. So that was
No, that's why, the reason why we did that is, I was exhausted. I've been in this game for a long time, folks. I know how the right wing works. I'm not one of these corporate establishment sheep. I don't play the civility game. I don't fall for the bullshit, right? I know how they operate. They've attacked me many, many times. And so you have to know how the machine works. And I know how they work. I think they're all on the same Slack channel. Lev can tell you they're probably all in the same Signal chat. And notice with the right wing, it's all coordinated, right? It
Yeah.
goes Daily Mail, New York Post, Fox News, Daily Wire, Washington Free Beacon, then all of a sudden ends up as tweets, verbatim tweets by elected officials, and then
Elon Musk, JD Vance. Yeah.
it all happens within
Yep,
2 hours.
yep,
Just notice 2 hours.
yep,
And
Yeah.
if you've
yep.
never been on the receiving end, I've been hit so many times. I'm used to it, right? But it's not for everyone, because Lev knows this. They overwhelm you. I don't know if Dean, if you've been hit by the right wing, they've spent.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
You know how it
Yeah,
is.
I had police in front of my house for 2 weeks during the convoy.
Yeah, so like, they hit you, and if you're not used to this,
Yeah.
for most normies, it's overwhelming, because usually what the time.
Well, you haven't lived till you've had your life threatened by Sebastian Gorka in a DM for publishing the Give Send Go. Like, yeah, Sebastian
Did you
Gorka.
know I'm a counterterrorism
Oh,
expert,
by the way,
even though I have no background?
you want me to give you a funny Sebastian Gorka story? A
Of
little
course.
story time.
I hate that
Story
fuck.
time with.
Yeah.
I challenge him. So me and Sebastian have been going at it. I hate that. Like
Terrible
back in even a terrible man. So now we're on X, and me and him on this Mario Spaces are constantly fighting. I'm at this right wing. So Sebastian Gorka goes on there and he starts saying some. I don't remember what it was. Something so stupid. So I couldn't handle it anymore. And in front of everybody, I challenged him to a boxing match. I said, "Me and you for charity." I said, "Let's go, me. Let's go."
I remember this.
I challenged him. He blocked me right away. They stopped me right away.
As a superior intellect, I will not box you. My name's Sebastian Gorka. And just like whatever, man. This guy, he's really a terrible person, truly racist.
Terrible.
But it shows you, that's why we have to get on top of it, because what happens, right? And this is just Dean and Lev for people who don't know, because I'm sure you've seen it also. People aren't necessarily stupid. I know people use the word stupid. Americans are misinformed.
Yeah.
There are a lot of low information voters. We're easily distracted. And I've seen in my family and my friends in my community, I'm sure this has happened to you, Lev and Dean, you want to just hit your head against the wall. I saw a 37-second clip of Tucker Carlson. He's saying something really good. I think Tucker Carlson has changed. Look at Candace Owens and look what she said. Wow, she's part of the resistance. Look, maybe the New York did do something, and maybe Donald Trump, yeah, he's terrible, but maybe they were just trying to get him on this stuff. So that's why we have to be, I think it goes back to what Lev's point is saying. Folks, I strongly believe this. I completely disagree with the Blue Anons. I call them Blue Anons, Dean, the people who say never criticize Democrats. I don't.
Yeah.
You have.
Well, dude, listen, both of them, and just like love for you to continue, but I think all of us on this call are not card-carrying members of any political cult. Like, none of us. Like, we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans. We are literally here to speak truth to power. We're here to give you facts. So, sorry, continue.
What I'm saying with the Blue Anons are like never criticize Democrats. I'm criticizing them to make them succeed. I'm criticizing them to make them better. I'm criticizing them so they can defeat fascists, right? And in this point, I think just piggybacking off of Levin, where we have to go forward from here, you have to be on offense. If you bend the knee, if you're complicit, if you're quisling, if you're weak, I give you, folks, I know Governor Walz and Mayor Fry have been doing a lot. When they first came out last week, they came out with gusto. Remember? Get the F out of ICE. Look at the double standard of corporate media. Donald Trump flicks off a UAW worker, says F you to him. It's okay. Jacob Fry responds to ICE occupying his city and killing a woman. He says, get the F out. You know what they said on Sunday? Mayor Fry, don't you think it was a little too much to say that? Maybe you can calm it down, right? So this week, what happened? Tim Walz, I think it was 2 days ago, he does this post. I really didn't like it, Dean. I talked to Lev about this, but
Yeah.
he's like, come on now, Donald Trump, let's de-escalate. This isn't who we are. And fellow Minnesotans, come on now, don't pour fuel on the fire. I'm like, first of all,
Placation. Yeah.
I'm like, why are you blaming the Minnesotans? There's no both sides. These people are literally exercising their First Amendment rights. They're sitting there getting tear gassed. And by the way, what do you mean this isn't who we are? This is who Donald Trump is. The next day, what happened, folks? The next day, what happened? Chuck Schumer meets Donald Trump. I met Donald Trump. We had a conversation. Okay. The next day after that, Donald Trump says, pardon my language, folks. I'm speaking like Donald Trump. You bunch of pussies. You stupid little bitches. Oh, you weak ass Democrats. I'm going to criminally investigate Governor Walz and Mayor Frey. What are you going to do about it now? So what they only, pardon me, folks, I was just thinking like MAGA and Donald Trump. I'm not trying to offend anyone.
I don't think you have to apologize for swearing anytime I'm on a Substack Live with you.
But
Just so
I
you know.
think what they respond to, they respond to chutzpah, they respond to popularity, they respond to ratings, they respond to boldness, which is why Donald Trump gave fellatio to Zoran Mamdani and completely destroyed Elise Stefanik's career. Sorry for my rant.
You know what? You say all the other stuff, and then instead of blowjob, you say fellatio. God, I love you.
I have refined taste.
Yeah, no, I love how he ended it, and he destroyed Stefan. She's like done. I mean, his number. I mean, how many careers has he destroyed? Like it's not even.
But just go on offense, guys. What more do you need to see? Go on.
Nothing. And you know what, dude? I think that's such a prescient comment and statement for the time that we're in, because if you watch yesterday I watched, Canada did a massive trade deal with China, and they asked Donald Trump, and Trump is literally, he respects Carney to the point where he's literally afraid of him because Carney knows what the fuck he's doing, right? And Carney doesn't capitulate to him. I mean, he doesn't go after him in the pejorative at any point in time. He just talks about the business he's doing. And he was asked yesterday, and I fucking died laughing. They're like, what do you make of, because, Fox reporters, like, what do you make of Mark Carney usurping United States interests, doing a massive trade deal with the government of China? And he goes like this. Well, that's what he should be doing. Yeah, good for Mark. I think that's great. That was the last thing he said. So to your point, the only thing that works with these guys is standing on your fucking business. And the Democratic Party, to your point, and I would say this, I've said this on a couple of lives, I don't even think they're for the official opposition. The people of the United States are, Canada is, this is more so than any Democrat not named AOC at this moment in time. And I fucking laugh because Chuck Schumer, a couple of days ago in Congress or Senate, he stands up there, he goes, what's going to get us through this is dealing with the affordability crisis. It was
like 2 days ago. That's literally what he said. America cares about the affordability crisis. I've written a sternly worded letter. And for those who are watching on Lev's and mine, because Dean is a Canadian, for those who don't know, Carney, right? What he does is he doesn't swear, looks right at the camera, says, okay, Canada's now doing business with China. What does he say? Elbows up. He doesn't yell. He doesn't swear. Elbows up. Okay. What did he say 2 days ago? It's a new world order. Now we're doing business with China. So it breaks my heart as an American, Dean. I saw that. I'm like, here we are. Yeah. Canada is our economic partner, our national security partner. We have threatened Canada for no reason. Canadians, I went to Canada, right, a couple months ago. They're like, why are we catching strays? But Canada, folks, there's a lot of pride in that country. Canada says, all right, mother effer, elbows up. You want to play this? Let's play this. Carney's not stupid. Nope. He's very smart, a businessman. And he's like, all right, you want to threaten us? All right, China, you open for business? Cool. Peace out, America. China says, all right, you want to cut us out? Okay, we'll go buy soy from Brazil and Argentina. And now all these white soy farmers who voted for Donald Trump are literally, I feel bad for them. They're dying, Dean. Yep. So you see, and then just today, anyone who sides with me, Greenland over me, I'm going to put a tariff on them. Congratulations, you've just made.
I think he did. I think Aaron broke that news also. If I'm Mark, you take a look. I think he put tariffs on Germany or so. Did he?
Anyone who side, all of our EU allies. that sides with Greenland, which is NATO, pretty much all of our allies. He says, tariffs for you, tariffs for you, tariffs for you. Unless you give me Greenland, I want Greenland. So who is that going to help, folks? It helps China. It helps Russia. It weakens and isolates America,
Yep.
which is why oftentimes I sit there and think, man, either this guy is literally a willing Manchurian candidate, or he's so reckless and dumb and stupid that other countries are just sitting there drinking like this guy is doing our job for us. He's weakening America.
Yeah.
It's a it's a combination.
Yeah, it's a combo of stupidity and all
he's
the
a
other stuff.
phenomena.
Yeah.
He's a phenomena. He's a one of a kind. He really is. You know.
Yeah. I mean, he's driven Canada, and actually, what he did was he drove China into the arms of Canada.
Yeah.
So, just to give you some short strokes about how this affects the United States, this trade deal with China, what was announced yesterday. No visas for Canadians. We can just walk right into China now. Kind of fun. I don't have any plans on going there, though, because it's still China. That's huge. We're going to take a bunch of their EVs. They've wiped out tariffs on all agricultural products, some up to 100, 120%.
Wow.
On top of that, and this is the really fascinating part, because your president, I know he's not your president or your president, but the president of the fascist United States of America at the moment, said he didn't need the following: soybeans, oil, natural gas, rare earth, lithium, the shit, uranium. We don't need anything. And so what we did is this deal includes not some, all of the oil we sell you, all of the natural gas we sell you, all of the lithium, uranium we sell the United States, and it's going to China. So we're going to find out, and this is the proving period, right? We're going to find out if indeed Donald Trump does need the equipment, does need softwood lumber, does need steel, does need aluminum, does need gas, does need oil, does need electricity, because if it's not for Canada, almost the entire East Coast is in the dark. Many border cities are in the dark. That is where you get most of your crude. That is where you get most of your natural gas as well. So good thinking, Donald Trump, in his ultimate wisdom, just literally stole energy, food, uranium, rare earth, magnets from the American people, from American business that is now going to China, just to drive the point home, Wash and Lev.
And also blowing up NATO potentially.
Yep.
Also destabilizing the Western Hemisphere by invading Venezuela. And also, he said, we'll make up the money through oil. What we? Folks, he stole Venezuelan oil, and this week he sold the oil, and they put that $500 million, Lev. Tell him, is it America? Where'd they put that $500 million?
Offshore, in the offshore account. You can't make this up.
Offshore
account.
Qatar. That's where the money went. Not in the United States. And these are from the oil tankers that he's playing pirate with that are leaving Venezuela. He's just taken the oil, and he sold the first batch, no word of a lie, to a friend of his that owns an oil company in the United States.
Oh, and then yesterday he pardoned more fraudsters, more people who defrauded people who were spending time in prison, including one guy, a Porto Potty magnate, who was in prison for throwing sludge in the water. Pardoned him. Folks, it's America. It's Dean. I know you're looking down on us, and you're like, why? And I've said this before. I'll say it again. The three enduring sins of America, the two main ones, are white supremacy and greed, and we've never confronted it. We've never acknowledged it. We always want to get to reconciliation without truth. And what Donald Trump is, and I know people don't like hearing this, Donald Trump is not an anomaly, Dean. Donald Trump is the inevitable end result of America's worst sins. He's as American as apple pie and slavery. Reality TV star, vulgarian, rapist, racist, unfettered, corrupt capitalist, fraudster, and the cruelty, the vulgarity, and that's what happens. I mean, we're this country, Dean, that makes monuments and statues for Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis, two racist traitors who committed treason and lost the war. So, and we now elevate a loser, Donald Trump, who never held office, 6-time bankruptcy, got $400 million from his father, squandered it, incited insurrection, lied to us about COVID, killed people, and this dumbass country was like, let's give him a shot one more time.
Let's see if we can run this back. Let's see if it gets any better. Not to mention the 31 credible, sexual assault
Oh yeah.
charges to his name, right? Like, not to mention the 31. And again, you got 31 that you admit to. There's 131 that you don't know anything about. I mean, that is the United States of America. To your point, the embodiment of everything bad that America is. So let's not run this back. Gentlemen, thank you. Lev, I
Yeah,
don't know if you want to bring anybody else up. We've been
yeah,
at
yeah,
it. Yeah. Do you want to bring some more
yeah.
people up?
Actually, what I was going to say, Waj, I want to
I'll
thank
leave.
you so much.
Yeah.
Before Waj leaves, no, before Waj leaves, I want everybody out there right now to go hit that little Chiron up there. We have over 6,000 people on our side. I think over 3,000 on Dean's side. I want
Yeah.
everybody right now, very importantly,
Wild.
go out there and cross pollinate and subscribe. I want you, everybody, very importantly, this is true journalism, folks, independent journalism. What we're doing today, you're not, if you put on CNN, MSNBC, and all of this, they're going to be talking about this. They will, but 3-4 days from now, when all of a sudden Donald Trump is going to be opening an investigation into Tish James and or into Alvin Bragg, they're going to be like, "Oh, Michael Cohen. Oh, here we go." But we're telling you here first. That's why it's so important. That's why this community and family is so important. Don't let
Mm,
fraudsters like Michael Cohen stop you from believing and trusting good people, because that's the problem. People like
mm,
that then take away trust and say, you know what? I don't know. Don't let them do it. This is what they want to do. This is the distraction they do. So please, folks, especially with Waja's sale, 375 or 325, you can't beat it. Make sure you go. Everybody, paid subscribers, make sure, because that's how the algorithm works, folks, to get our information out there. Waj, thank you so much for joining us today, brother. I'm sure we're going to be going live
Yeah, I know.
tomorrow.
Thank you all.
Today, this is just starting out. So
Go
try to
rest,
spend some
everyone.
time. Yeah.
It's gonna get far worse before it gets better. Doesn't mean you give up hope, but you have to have your eyes wide open. And this is gonna be, all hands on deck. I really
All
believe
hands on deck.
everyone has a role to play. Everyone has a role to play to
we do.
defend freedoms. And if they can shoot and kill and cover up the murder of Renee Nicole Good, an unarmed mother, whose last words were, "I'm not mad at you, man. What will they do to you?" I just want you to
Mm,
think about that. Fascists come for everyone. But we do what we can. We're here. Thank you all. Thank you for inviting me. Lev, go rest. And I have to say this, forgive me. Go 49ers. If you value freedom, you will support my beleaguered, injured 49ers against the dastardly Seahawks. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to
I,
stand up for the 49ers
I'm gonna
after
go
you
with me
stand up for
too.
the Bills in the 4:30, just so
If
you know.
Bills, okay, I'll say this also because real quick, I always go for the underdogs. I
Yeah.
saw every single Super Bowl as a kid. Bills, for those who don't know, the Buffalo Bills went through 4 Super Bowls in a row. Anyone who's not a sports fan, just follow me real quick. Imagine the odds of losing 4 Super Bowls in a row. And
It's like a
still, the
curse.
Buffalo Bills fans are really nice people. So they have suffered. If it isn't my beloved 49ers, I root for the Bills.
Attaboy. Thank you.
Especially before you go, especially you'll never forget that wide left. Remember that?
Oh my
Wide
God,
left, the
yes.
kick.
Scott
The
Norwood, wide left. That was the first
kick.
one. And then we had 3 other fucking heartbreakers, and the last one ended in a
You
blowout.
can make
I
it up.
stopped watching NFL football
Yeah,
after the
yeah,
4th loss.
I could imagine. I
Yeah.
listen. I'm a Jets fan, so I know what it
Oh,
feels
that's
like.
the
Good
worst.
suffering through. So, folks, so this is what we're gonna do. I know that we're going to extend it. If you can stay on a little longer, Dean, because
Sure.
besides the Michael Cohen stuff, we have some very important stuff that we need to talk about, and that's Ukraine. We have some
Mhm.
special heroes here with us that I'd like to bring up: Philip Eitner, Alexander Volbir, and also Cheech Pravati, who are really doing a lot of stuff helping Ukraine right now and helping us out. So,
So do you, do
maybe,
you want do
yeah.
you want me to hop off so you can talk to more than one of them at the same time?
Well, or we could bring him on. What's it called? You know what? Why don't we do this? Why don't you hop off right now? I'm going to
Yeah.
bring on the 2 of them, and then I'll bring you back on after we're done, so we could go Q&A and finalize. So we're
All
going to
right,
get
buddy.
everything done. All right, brother. So stay with me. I'm going to get Alexander
Yep.
and Philip on. So because I think it's important to give some news
As
what's
soon as
happening in
Alex
Ukraine right
comes in
now.
or Phil, I'll split and then you can get going because I think you can only do
Perfect.
3 cats
Yeah.
on here. So yeah, and
Yeah.
then I'll come
Let's
back
sure.
at the end
Let's
if you
sure.
need me. Yep.
Yeah. Let's start. Stay here for now. Let's see. Let's
Okay,
get
pal.
Phil
That's
first.
good because I really have to pee. I've been hard on the tea today. It's coffee and tea, but I've had a lot of tea, too much tea. And at the age of 52, nature calls. And when nature calls, it doesn't call, it screams. It's like, hey, 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 dude, hey, gotta pee. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's
All right,
see.
buddy.
We
We'll talk
got
to you
Philip.
soon.
We got Philip here. All right, we're gonna get you up, Philip. Great. Okay, hold on a second, Philip. Don't go anywhere. Let's get. We're gonna remove Dean and my brother. Stay there. Now we're gonna add Alexander. Where's Alexander? Our Alexander. Oops, sorry.
I'd love to talk to Dean sometime. He seems an interesting guy.
Oh, he's incredible. Well, not sometime. You're gonna speak to him plenty of times because we're gonna. Right now, we're putting together also with the Midas Touch and others. We're gonna make Ukraine a much bigger platform because I've
Let's do
spoken
it.
to Ben. Oh, we're doing it. It's all in the works. It's part of,
You
and
you
that's
you
what
you know it, brother. You know that a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So the
absolutely.
stronger we can all of us fight against these autocracies,
Hey
you
guys,
know, whether it's hey, Olex, привет, привет,
привет,
добрый вечер.
привет.
So
Yes, hello.
You
I
have lights. You have
we
lights.
we have lights.
no, I have lights thanks to my community,
The
thanks to
community,
my
yes.
voice from Ukraine community. I have lights. In
I
fact,
have this. All I have is this.
well,
Philip, yeah, go
go ahead.
ahead, Alex. No, no, go ahead, Alex.
I was able to put up a chart like a little battery with the unifies the power. So I got my lights on, so I got
Well,
internal
this is the
lights.
thing. This is how we're living, love. I mean, when we get power, what we do, the very first thing that all of us do, and I think everybody
Charge
should
up.
think about, is everything gets plugged in. Every
Everything
battery,
is plugged in.
everything gets plugged in to get charged up. If you get 4 hours of energy, you can charge your batteries, and then you survive on candles and you survive on everything else that you can. And if it's during the day, obviously you don't have to worry about light, but you charge up everything, right?
Because you know why? Because if you snooze, you lose the internet. You lose. If you forget to plug something in, you are done until the next cycle.
I, I, just- I just want to say something.
That's
I just want to say something, and this is, I literally have a tear in my eye right now because I just want to say something. Folks, we have two heroes sitting here that are literally show like it could put a smile on their face, sitting there without lights in below freezing temperature, being
yes.
attacked, and this is an example I want everybody the strength that they have and that they're not giving up. They figure it out, the resilience, and that's what it's all about. And I just want to say, God bless both of you guys. I know
That
Alexander and
moron,
both of you.
that moron, that moron in the Kremlin. He never understood the spirit of the Cossack. He
No,
never
No.
understood. He never
no.
understood who was uh, 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 Sophia, of Kiev. Saint Sophia. He never understood this country, the strength of this country, and I
The
see the
strength.
same thing in America. The America that we built from the 13 colonies is the same spirit that's here now, today. It's
I, I
it's
tell you
amazing.
one thing. I tell you one thing. With Ukraine, and it's literally it's like they say, whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger. That's about us. And number one, number two, the orange Danny and Pupkin in Kremlin, they both made the same mistake. The orange Danny decided to put some rope over your ears, and we know where that led because he bit on the wrong sandwich. That's for sure. And his teeth are still falling out because he tried to mess with you. And now the other one is messed with Ukraine. And look at him. This is going to be the worst defeat he ever gets. Because the thing is, no matter what happens tomorrow, Russia already lost.
I
They
love you
already
Doc,
guys.
lost.
I love you
Doc,
They
guys.
already lost.
I love you.
Doc.
Do you see the courage in these two? I mean, I just want everybody out here. You know, first of all, I want to thank before we go any further. I want to thank each and every one of you. The past several days, the support that you guys have been giving. You know, putting in the GoFundMe for the generators, folks. If you can, keep putting it in there, because let me give you an update and some news.
Thank
First
you.
of all, Alexander was able to go out and secure, I think, another, I don't know how many Alexander will say, I think another 11 or 12 generators. There's another 7 or 8 left over from the 40 that we were assigned. So there's, I think, another 20,000 left in the GoFundMe to be able to secure them. So, folks, if you can, go a little extra, because Philip will tell you, you hear Alexander. Philip is somebody that just gave up everything. He lives in the United States. He worked for CBS. He had a beautiful life, gave everything up, went to 4 years ago, moved to Ukraine, and has been living there and fighting the good fight, not only by bringing in information. He's been there with Malcolm Nance. He's been there with everybody. And it's just an incredible hero, just like Alexander. And these two are there not, we're not, they're not asking for themselves. They're not asking for him, but they're asking because the people, folks, I don't know how to explain it. The pictures do not do it justice. I'll give you
No,
an example.
no, it's
Yesterday,
terrible.
yeah, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was in New York, and I came in New York. It's only was 30 degrees. 30 degrees, very cold. I went outside for 5, 10 minutes. I felt like I was shivering, and at that moment, I said to myself, and I remembered you guys. I remembered. I said, "This is 30 degrees. Can you imagine -10 or -7 in your house?" In your house where you have nowhere to hide. It's one thing when you're outside and you come in and you have the warmth where you could heat up, but these people don't even have places to heat up. And that's why generators, heating packs, anything that, we trust Alexander, and because you guys know from his, I don't know, Philip, if you know, you when you and Alexander meet, he'll tell you, but I'm sure you heard of Buffett Foundation and Global Empowerment Mission, all the stuff where Alexander was the lead to that. He got them there, and we're gonna also, one of the things we're gonna do, folks. And I need your help also. We need to reach out to Howard Buffett, because Alexander lost his phone number, and Howard Buffett has been one of the biggest helpers of Ukraine.
Yes.
Uh, he used to call Alexander his long lost brother when he would come to Ukraine because of the front line. But Alexander has lost his contact. If anybody out there, let them know, so we could get Howard in touch, because then I think we would be able to even do more work and get even more generators and more powerful with his type of money. So, but in the meantime, until we get to Howard Buffett, everybody out there, spread the GoFundMe. We have about 20,000 left to get the last 7 generators, because next week, the next following weeks, these two heroes are going to be delivering these generators all over Kiev, to be able to get lights, to be able to get heat, to be able to
Yeah.
save people. So,
And
guys,
and, and, and not just
yeah, go
Kiev,
ahead.
Bucha, Vorzel, there's a lot of places surrounding that really
Is
needs it.
Izium, maybe? I don't know.
Izium, oh, forget about Izium. Izium is, but, but but anyway, listen, it's all possible because of you guys, because of your support, because of your help, because of everything you do, because of you're not standing resilient just watching it. Because watching it, if you watch something long enough, it bites you in the ass. So you never know what comes around, because Ukraine is the most important piece to a lot of different things. The resilience in Ukraine is important for democracy in America. I don't want it to sound as mano a mano, but it's true, because we are fighting for democracy worldwide. Because once you
100%.
let
You
one
know,
person get away, it becomes sketchy. Then the next one, then the next one, and then next thing you know, you got a movement which is moving counterclockwise, and that's not the way it's supposed to be moving. You're supposed to move the proper way. So democracy is the only way to go. And
can
again,
I tell you? Can I tell you guys a quick story
sure.
about,
Please,
we
please.
do, the American founding fathers. We talk a lot about our debt that we owe to the French, to Lafayette, to Rochambeau. When American troops landed in France in World War One, they said, Lafayette, we are here because we recognized the responsibility and the debt that we owed to them. But we forget that there were many, many people who lived under the cruelty of the Tsar. These are people from the Polish Lithuanian Commonwealth, people who were Ukrainian, what the territory called Ukraine. And they fought a revolution against the Tsar, but their imperial master was right next door and he crushed it easily. But then what did they do? They went to the 13 colonies. I'm talking about people like Casimir Pulaski. I'm talking about Tadeusz Kakishko. These were people who were beaten by autocracy and they believed in the American experiment. So they got on boats and they went and they helped secure victory for the 13 colonies. We Americans, we owe a debt to the people of Ukraine. They have defended democracy for 4 years now. There are centuries of history of relations between the peoples of this land and the peoples of North America, and I'm including Canada in that as well. There's a huge Ukrainian diaspora in Canada.
Yep.
We owe a responsibility. We have a responsibility here. We promised these people, if they gave up their nuclear weapons, that we would secure their defense.
That's
And
what I was going to add to.
We have not
Yeah.
fulfilled our promise. It is a shame. It is a disgrace. And I'm here for a lot of different reasons. And Lev, someday I'll tell you my story about what happened to me on Maidan in 2014. I made promises to Babushka,
Oh
to the
wow.
grandmothers. And if you break a promise to a babushka in Ukraine, forget about it. Forget
Forget
about it.
about
That's the rest of your life. That's the
forget
rest of your
about
life. It's
it.
the worst curse you could make. So I promised these women on Maidan in 2014 that I would always stand with Ukraine. And I'm always
Oh,
going to stand with Ukraine because
oh,
Ukraine
beautiful.
is the line between what the Russians want, the autocracy, the cruelty, the tyranny. Last thing I'll say quickly is normally I put out a show in Kiev. It's called On the Edge, but because of this current, situation, this crisis, we're going to have to stop producing because I can't light the studio. I can't, I just don't have electricity for 10 hours of the day, 15 hours of the day. But at the end of every episode, I put out a quote from Abraham Lincoln. No more saint of liberal democracy than Abraham Lincoln. And it's a quote from a letter that he wrote to a childhood friend who was a slave owner. And he said, among a whole bunch of other things, at the end of the letter, he says, "We created this country with the idea that all men are created equal. We now
Amen.
stand on the precipice of whether or not that means all men or whether, not Negroes, that's the language of the time, Catholics or foreigners. And if we ever become that kind of country, I would rather immigrate to a country like Russia, where at least they don't pretend that they have tyranny that is open, at least they don't pretend to try to strive for the better nature of who we are. And that's where we are, guys. That's where we are. And he wrote that in 1855. This isn't
Oh,
anything new. The czars, the Russian Empire has been a malignant force on the planet for centuries. And I say that as their power and their belief and this war of colonization of a free people who just simply want to live their own way and not under the thumb of Moscow. That is something that we as Americans should stand for all the time. And that's why I'm here, Lev. I'm not a hero. I'm just a man who recognizes that this is the line between people like Trump and Putin, or we have Abraham Lincoln. What do we want to do in the
amen.
future?
Amen,
God bless
Philip.
you,
God
man.
bless you,
God
brother.
bless you,
God
bro.
bless you,
Thank
brother.
you. And you
Guys,
know what, Philip?
yeah,
Excuse me. I'm gonna have,
good.
if you don't mind, I'm gonna have Lev give me your number, your phone number, and you and I
No, no,
Yes,
конечно. Yeah,
yes. After
it's
we get
too.
100%.
off,
It's
like,
been far too late. Why haven't we done
yes,
it already?
exactly.
I
I'm gonna
know.
do it.
Better late than never.
Yes. So I want to
We are
say,
doing
Well,
it.
now and now that I'm not producing the show because of the electrical situation,
well, I want to say this.
I have space at my
He,
office. We can put generators.
What I wanted to say,
exactly, and you can fix that.
what
Go
I
ahead,
wanted
Lev.
to say to you guys also, first of all, my battery is dying, so we only have limited time. But I wanted to make sure because we have over 7,000 people right now, and I want to make sure everybody, whoever can, to contribute to your GoFundMe because generators are so extremely important. I also wanted to mention to you, Philip, while your studio is out, you have a family here at Substack. All you need is your phone, and what I would like for everybody to do. Philip is new to Substack, so everybody go to cross pollinate right now. Make sure you subscribe to Philip, to Alexander, to make sure because that's the very first way you could support them. There and Philip, please come here and spend more time. And and then we're gonna get generators. We're gonna light up your studio, and things are gonna be great. And Alexander, I want you to look out after yourself. You're not a young guy anymore. Today went out in the
That's
cold,
true.
and he came in. He could barely breathe because it's so cold outside. Say, stay inside. Don't go out there right now. But what I do want to do is, Alexander, I love you, brother. We're gonna catch up, but we only could get a certain amount of people on here, and I wanted to introduce Cheech to Philip before we go.
Yes,
You've met
please.
already, Cheech. So I'm going to
Oh,
introduce Cheech to
okay. I'll
Cheech.
stay.
Yeah, Phil, stay here. I'm going to bring Cheech
And
on,
you and
and
I
then
will.
I'll call you
Alexander,
afterwards. And you guys,
позвони мне.
exactly, our heroes.
Guys, thank you for supporting Ukraine. Thank you for staying with Ukraine. God bless you all. Slava Ukraini.
Слава
Героям
Ukraini.
слава. Героям
Слава.
слава.
The spirit of
Thank
the
you.
Cossack cannot be beaten.
No, and Alexander, he's incredible. I can't wait for you guys to get together. Let
I'm
us
so glad. I'm so
let's
glad.
get
Thank you, Lev. Thank you,
absolutely.
Lev.
No,
Let's
thank
keep
you
fighting,
guys.
brother. Let's keep
Oh,
fighting.
you know we're not stopping. You know me, brother.
It's the
We're
same
gonna get this.
fight. It's the same fight. That bastard in the White House and that prick in the Kremlin. It's the same thing.
Yep,
It's the same
yep,
fight.
yep. At 100%, 100%. Cheech, my
Hey,
brother.
Philip,
So,
did I say my
Hey, well,
so I
we,
wanna.
we've spoken before, haven't we, Cheech? You
uh,
look very familiar.
yeah, well, we could have.
Yeah.
We could have.
I want to do a quick introduction because Cheech is one of our subscribers, but also one of our leading volunteers, not only here in the United States, but helping Ukraine. Philip, I'm also going to give your phone number to Cheech and also Alexander. Cheech has family in Odessa. He's going to be coming down in February and he'll be joining you guys, joining our team to be able to distribute, to help whatever we can. So, why don't you take a minute or two, Cheech, because my battery's dying, so we can't do
Yep,
it too long.
yep.
But take a minute to, and in the meantime, folks, keep spreading the GoFundMe. Let's get that additional 20,000 get there, so Alex could go get those generators, so then they could distribute them this week. So
We were
thank you.
at
Go ahead, Cheech.
96,000 when I looked just a
Oh,
moment ago. So if
keep
you
going,
so
guys.
that's
Keep going.
we were at 57, and when I looked earlier, we were at 96,000. So that's awesome, and
Awesome.
all on our Substack family, Live.
Yep. Yeah, we
100%.
have no billion. That's the beauty of it. This is all grassroots. No billionaires, no big organization. It's each and every one of you. That's why every dollar counts. To be able to go out and get it done. Go ahead, Cheech.
I was going to say pennies, but pennies they don't exist anymore, and copper's going through the roof. So anyway, so yes, Philip, I'm going to be there. The goal is to be there the end of February. When I get there, I'll be there for an initial 3 weeks. Then I'm coming back. I have a whole condo worth of stuff I have to get rid of, and then I'm going to be
Okay.
in Ukraine 100%. I have a family in Odessa, and the family's kind of grown. It's like I have my fiance, but also her family in Poltava. And then there's another family, which I can't say where they are, but it's um, we've grown. So it's when I say
And
family,
you're only gonna teach. I'm
Such a
gonna teach you
Ukrainian
something.
story.
Yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna say like Philip is laughing, but teach your family's only gonna grow and grow. By the time you get to Ukraine, you're gonna have a
Uh-huh.
one family.
Uh-huh.
I'm finding that
And
out.
and it's not going to be a quiet family either. It's
I,
not going to
No,
be some
no,
sort of passive
no,
family. They're going to
no,
be they'll
no.
be bless you, Cheech. Yeah, it's yeah,
Yes,
you
uh,
Ukrainians are amazing people, and I've never been more privileged
I'm
than to be with them.
honored. Really, I am. It's I'm learning a lot about Ukrainian culture, but Lev knows. We've talked about this before. The importance of saving democracy in Ukraine. If Ukraine wins, we win here, and the
absolutely.
go hand in hand. And I can't say it enough. You know, the what we did in Odessa, what Lev and Olex did in Odessa, the miracle of in Odessa. Lev,
It was
still
amazing.
bring tears to my eyes when I think about that, and I go back and watch it. It,
Yeah, me too.
you can't. That's something that you you couldn't plan on. It's just something that Olex was in the right place at the right time.
God.
Yes, to be able to give that church, that pastor, what, not one but two generators, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and two. And here, Philip, I don't know if you heard the story. They actually
Yeah,
built
I have.
a platform for the generator before even Olex was there. They didn't know it was
Crazy
there. So, that to me,
miracles.
it's a miracle. And then Lev and Olex donated a generator to me, and I contacted my family, and I said, look, because I already bought a generator. I said, let's donate this to a family in need. And there was a young man, he's 22 years old. He lives literally like 5 houses away from where my house is in Odessa. And they have a 1 year old, and they didn't have electricity. So we donated ours that came from Voice of Ukraine and from Lev to this family. So
From our family, yes.
yes, all together. So
Yeah.
that in itself was another blessing.
And we're going to
Yeah.
continue making the miracles because of guys, because of you. You're all heroes, each and every one of you that donates, that helps. We're all this in it together. And I really apologize, don't want to cut you off. I have like maybe 6 minutes of battery left.
Yeah.
And I just want to say before you guys go, please, everybody, this is our team. We're building it, our volunteer group. Continue signing up to the volunteer group in Ukraine, all over the world, wherever you are. But number one thing right now, our mission today is let's get this GoFundMe closed off. Let's get the final generators, and then let's spend the next couple of weeks distributing them and making miracles happen, and then on to the next one. So in the meantime, subscribe to each and every one of these guys. Cross pollinate. I love you guys. Stay safe and keep doing the God's work.
All right. Very good.
Slava
Slava
Ukraini.
Ukraini.
Get on Slava. Take care, guys.
Bye now.
Take care, love.
Folks, let me just bring Dean up before we to end off our where is Dean? Hopefully Dean already went to the bathroom and he's back from the bathroom. So before we go, let me see. Okay, we have 5 minutes. So before we go, Dean, come on up, Dean, before my battery dies. Folks, I know we were not able to do a question and answer Q&A today because there was a lot of breaking news, and I also wanted to make sure that we were able to bring in Alexander, Philip, and Cheech to talk about Ukraine. But I want to say to you, there's going to be a lot more breaking news during the day. So stay tuned because we have a lot more coming. But as I promised you, we're gonna end off each and every one of our weekend love remembers or a coffee with tea and love with a positive note. And today, like always, I have my incredible sister Ludmila. You guys know her, and with everything that's going on, she hopefully she could come up here also. Okay, there we go.
Hello,
Hey,
my
there she
love.
is. Oh, there she is. There she is.
Nice to see
Oh,
you. Good morning,
oh,
all the beautiful souls. How are you?
how are you? It's been a crazy day, Ludmila. You
It
haven't
was.
slept, but
I know.
I
But
know it's.
you know what the beautiful thing is? As an energy provider, for me, it's very important to be in a positive state of mind so I can share my positivity with everybody. And the beautiful thing happened this morning. I'm sitting watching your program. Ariel, my younger daughter, passes by and he sees how many people already joined. She says to me, "Oh my God, mom, I am so happy for all those people who is going to be able to see you and to receive all this positive energy from you. You know why? Because I know that their day is going to be amazing." So, on that note, I would like everybody open your heart, open your mind, and be ready to receive the message I have for you today. No matter how loud the world gets, kindness, truth, and courage still matters. If we lead our hearts and stand up for one another, tomorrow can always be better than today. When we choose love over fear and courage over silence, we remind the whole world that hope is still very much alive. It is alive at the end of the tunnel. And thank you, Lev, for taking the leadership to make sure we have this hope.
Oh, God bless you. I hope. I mean, that was incredible, and I hope each and every one of you accepts that, brings it in. Close your eyes and just think about, replays those words because those are some really important words. Hope, strength, standing up to power. That's what we're doing here. And sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes it's not the way we want it to go. But at the end of the day, we are all here to save our democracy. So, folks, if you haven't yet, give Ludmila a subscribe. If
Oh,
you
thank
wanted
you.
positive energies, everybody out there, make sure hit that button, cross pollinate, because with all the craziness in our world, with all of the stuff, very few people out there that give us the energy. And I promise you, a few words from Ludmila will put a smile on your face and give you that energy that you'll be able to pass on to everybody else. Because remember, we are a pass through. If you're in a bad mood, people that you're gonna meet you're gonna make them in the bad mood. If you're in a
Pay it
good mood and
forward.
if you're exactly, pay if you're positive, you're gonna meet people, and it's so folks, pay it forward, and give Ludmila a follow if you can, because she's gonna be here. She's part of the family, and she's gonna give us that bright hope of positive
Yes.
energy that we all need. I love you,
Thank you
my
so
sister.
much.
Have a
I love
wonderful
you
day.
guys. Thank you so much. And everybody have a blessed and amazing day. Life is beautiful and we are blessed. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Folks, my battery is about to die. Dean's probably went to the bathroom and forgot that we have a show going on, but that's okay. I love him. Dean's my man. We will be back next week, obviously, with the regular coffee and tea with Lev, but it's never regular because with the news, you never know what's going to break. The one thing I do want to ask each and every one of you is, folks, we are just getting started. There's not about right, it's not about left. This is about the truth. This is about getting accountability for the survivors, getting accountability for all the people that are getting hurt by this administration through ICE or through what's happening overseas. So that's why we are a true community, a true movement, and a true defiance family to Donald Trump and his mega movement. So, folks, please, if you can, make sure, if you haven't yet, subscribe. If you can, become a paid subscriber, because that is what drives this algorithm, allows not only helps financially, but also most importantly gets the information out there to more people to be able to spread it far and wide, because that's the most important thing here. This is why I have my platform. And I told you from day one, I'm not here to build friends. I'm here to get the truth out. I'm here to save our democracy. And I'm here to make sure that the survivors' voices and those kids in Ukraine or anybody to be the voice for the ones that are not gotten. And with your help, together, we are going to do it. And our voices are being loud. And for those of you that can, make sure go to 11pttp at proton.me. That's our volunteer hotline. And obviously, we're also very close in our own GoFundMe. And we have some incredible, huge announcement that's coming next week, probably. So make sure, stay tuned. I promise you, you're not ready for it, but as I promised you, we're taking our country back. We're taking our democracy back. And folks, this is a new year, and enough is enough. As you could see the shirt, go get your shirts because you wear it with pride. Because enough is enough. Enough with the lies. Enough with all of these Michael Cohens. Enough with these Michael Wolves. Enough with these Dan Bunginos. They're all going to come to accountability. And it's not just Michael Cohen, folks. Michael Wolf is also on the list, and so is Dan Bongino, and so are others that are covering up for the biggest cover up in the history of the United States and the history of the world, which is the Epstein file up, and we will get to the bottom of it. So God bless each and every one of you. Thank you guys for joining. It really means a lot. But most importantly today, spread the message far and wide. Make sure everybody knows about Michael Cohen. Make sure people start unsubscribing. Make sure you write your letters to Substack for them to refund people their money back that he has grifted off of. And make sure that you speak loud and let your voices be heard. I'm going already. I'm losing my voice. And thanks to everybody else that joined. God bless you guys. Have a great day and stay tuned. A lot more coming today. Take care.